what's his face is average. Remember, they can track his right through Sirius. It's unlike tracking through People Meter. They literally know the numbers. 14 million in a fucking day. I don't know where that stands compared to these other guys.
Well, how do they know if 14 million subscribe to it? How do they know?
No, there's 35 million subscribers.
Oh.
But he has days where he'll hit that many.
That's amazing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know how that compares to Rush.
Neither do I.
I have no freaking clue. But you got to remember with him, too, his two stations are 24/7 him. There's two stations that are literally, he's got content over 40-plus years, every show he's ever done. He literally has two stations that are 24/7 Stern.
Why two?
One when the live show's going on, the other one might be doing replays or special events. Just his concerts. I mean, he's had every, you know, what people don't get is his collection of music that was done in his studio is probably worth more than, fuck, I mean, I don't even know how you value that.
They're located conveniently in Lakewood on Colfax, just west of Wadsworth, and in Aurora on Havana, just south of 6th Avenue. The repair shop I know and trust.
Well, he had really smart people fucking around him, too. Because I got to tell you what.
I got to tell you, I just don't find the show entertaining.
I don't know that. I used to.
Not at all. I don't find it entertaining. I mean, I'm being honest. It just doesn't.
I love it. I love it. Now, if he gets into politics, I turn instantly.
What do you find entertaining? The porn?
No, he doesn't do any of that anymore. I love his interviews. It doesn't matter who it is. I love his interviews.
Okay.
From Joe Blow on the street to Donald Trump, whatever the interview is, I've never seen anybody that can interview like him.
Oh, okay.
How he gets people to open up on stuff they'd never say anywhere else is just remarkable. You know, he's got Katie Couric talking about, you know, blowjobs. I mean, think about that. Here's Katie Couric. He draws, and I'm using, I don't even think that's true, but I'm using it as an outrageous example of how they bring it up. When people start talking about their childhoods and their mother, I learned more about Chevy Chase and how, you know, he came from a decent home, but his mother would lock him in the basement when he was a little kid.
Lock who?
Chevy Chase. His mom would lock him in the basement. You know, it was a nice basement, a middle-class finished basement, but he wasn't allowed to leave the basement when he was in trouble, and just weird stuff like that. Gigi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Have you met our newest referral list member?
No, how
Okay. You know how to get that? He owns a lemonade stand at the corner of Bellevue and somewhere.
Entrepreneur.
Voted best lemonade stand in Denver.
Oh, man. No customer complaints.
For most with knee arthritis, finding the correct treatment with an acceptable outcome is a major issue.
Hello, Gigi.
Good morning, Tom.
The risks associated with major surgery aren't worth it, so what is the correct treatment? The doctors at the Osteorelief Institute believe moving from least invasive to more invasive procedures is best. So even if it's bone on bone or then-hole surgery is the only option, you may qualify for treatment. Osteorelief merges two proven methods for knee arthritis.
Okay, so do you have Skype on your PC or on your laptop?
No. Well, I might, actually, on my
If
laptop.
I set something up later tonight with him around, I'm getting ready to Skype with him right now.
I have Skype on my phone. I mean, I can figure it out.
Will you do it at 10 p.m. tonight, though? You want to Skype with him about
Sure I would.
10 p.m.?
Oh, I could do it.
Okay.
Call 800-578-KNEE if you have arthritis in your knee.
That's like
Tell me how to do it.
6:30 in the morning, man.
Knee to schedule your risk-free screening.
We'll set it, if it works out, we'll set it up right after this.
When you think about home loans, think Ideal Home Loans and the help they can give you.
We want to work with affordability and what you can make as a payment every month so that you're comfortable and it's something that works well for your situation.
Call Brent Ivanson and his team at 303-867-7000, 867-7000, idealhomeloans.com. Help when you need it most. Equal opportunity lender regulated by NMLS 136756. For terms and
I love this app.
Oh, I can't even. I'm always doing that.
Doing what?
Reset my password,
I'm
because
the same way.
I'm like, I forgot.
Well,
I have like 3 or 4 that I...
See, and I change mine all the time. They might have a weird theme to them, but they're completely different.
Yeah.
The boy screamed. The doctor applied the braces from his feet. If this 20-second pause made you feel something, imagine what an entire paper can do.
When I come to try to, you know, copy it over to go to the
Go up.
it goes this.
Yeah, but you gotta hit text.
Oh.
Just like when you paint pictures, it's got to be a visual. Or when we copied the pictures, remember? You like the look of the New Deal? I do. Easy on the eye.
Now, Tom Martino, the Troubleshooter.
Hey, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Fighting for you, solving problems, answering questions, and taking complaints. Today we'll talk about credit and finance and other things. Building credit, how do you do it? What is the number one problem for credit? Where do people have credit go south? What's the number one reason for bankruptcy? All of that stuff. Plus, of course, your stuff. If you have problems, questions, and complaints, give us a call. As I love saying, it's all about help, and it's the only show of its kind anywhere. Recovering hundreds of millions of dollars over the last 40 years in cash merchandise exchanges, refunds, and services. SleazeBrigade.com has been updated. Sleaze Brigade. Of course, you know we have Referrals.com. We have Sleaze, S-L-E-A-Z-E, SleazeBrigade.com. Eric Laxon is up there now. I urge you to go and read about him. SleazeBrigade.com.
Oh, man, do you hear Dan? Deputy Dan talked to him yesterday. The guy said, you guys talk about me again, I'll be down to that station.
Now, here's what I'm wondering. Should we leave the option open for these guys to get in the ring with us, literally, with boxing gloves? Should we allow them to do that?
Oh, I'd take this character on.
Would we? Can we have that as an option? The troubleshooters... what do you call throw down?
Well, see, I don't worry about us because Deputy Dan's our muscle.
That's what I'm thinking. I'd have him. But Eric Laxon says he wants to get physical. He wants to come down here.
In my opinion,
you know,
Tom,
what kind of a moron?
Scumbag.
Seriously, what kind of a moron does that? I mean, threatens to beat you up. You know, I mean, it's so stupid. Come on,
Suzanne. What did we see in his background check? Listen, I'll tell you what kind of moron.
With a response. Should we have really? I mean, should we open up a boxing ring for contractors, sleazy contractors that want to go toe to toe? Come on, man.
That would be crazy.
How stupid with it?
You ask what kind of guy? What kind of guy?
I think I'm past my prime for that.
Well, quite a few. He's a speeder, but the more concerning thing was he was charged with having a deadly weapon.
Okay. Oh, jeez.
So maybe I'll take back that whole box. He might be one of these guys with a switchblade. You know, in all joking aside, this guy took this lady, disabled vet, okay? She fought for this country, everything else, for $34,000. Put $18,000 on her Home Depot card, returned lots of the stuff, kept the tools, and on top of that took $26,000 in cash.
Our Sleaze Brigade, we got Eric Laxon, is lax on ethics. We got Greg Martinez, Country Concrete Services, started work and disappeared. What about Dale Eugene Campbell, Damian Gunn? How about Henry Gonzalez, the worst body shop ever? And then Josie Rose, Carol Prendergast, Jim Ross, Miguel Hernandez. These are all people that made the Sleaze Brigade. Jiffy Lube, Richard Gross. Remember Dick Gross from Mark Lloyd's Furs? And then Juan Sanchez, the moron tree trimmer. And then I'm sorry. Why is Jiffy Lube up there twice? Anyway, Jeff Nidell, jailbird contractor. Jeff Nidell, remember him? Or Jake.
One of them, I found it was a child molester registered too. I forget which one.
Then we had the sham cancer charities. Jim
That was
Weiss.
the fence guy. Pardon me, Tom. That was the fence guy, Mark. Remember with the creepy sign?
Then we have Jim Weiss, Sleazy Auto Service in Bennett. He was the 44th. He was really bad. Still is. How about
Jim
Prestige?
Ross, carpetbagger.
Oh yeah, I mentioned him. Then we have Prestige Chrysler Dodge, an actual dealership, rotten from the top.
Do you
down
remember what they did to the one guy?
Yeah, they voided his warranty because he put up
brand new truck.
Because he put up a negative review. Then we have Stephen Klein. And in my headline, I said, decline his IT services. He made a logo. Do you remember?
He downloaded
for a guy from ClipArt.
From freeclipart.com and then wrote something on the wagon and sold it for $2,000. It was great.
Don Eiley, scumbag embezzler.
Millions.
Oh, my God. And how does a guy like that avoid prison? That's the part that pisses me off. If you go to sleazebrigade.com, if you're new in town, you may want to know this. I mean, this is the worst of the worst of the worst. You can't just get on the Sleaze Brigade from one infraction. Nope. We have higher standards than that. You can't just rip off somebody once and get on there.
And I'd like to welcome Eric Laxon to the Sleaze Brigade.
Yes, welcome.
And that's Denver Kitchen and Bath, and avoid this number at all costs, 720-369-2663. Avoid that number.
I love this. I really love Sleaze Brigade. It's the complete antithesis to Referrals.com. Now, we also have Troubleshooter.com, which is going to be its own separate site, but, of course, in conjunction with all the others. And right now, I think it just points to Referral List, which it should.
I'm glad you said that, because people don't realize. They go to the new Referral List. I love the look. It's working great. Companies sign up. People use it. But you won't see the blogs there anymore, Tom. You won't see...
No, because we're working on that part.
That should be up next week.
But we are live on Facebook, and we are live on YouTube. Welcome to the show, Gigi Wink from Wink and Wink. They are bankruptcy attorneys, and I always say they don't like it, but I say I hope you never need them. But Gigi, really, nobody wants
No, of course.
What's the number one? Okay, number one reason. I know what it is for bankruptcy.
Well, I mean, divorce, I think, is up there.
I thought medical was
I think medical's definitely number one.
Yeah. Divorce is a contributing factor for sure, but medical bills, we had a guy the other day, for example, his child taken from the NIC unit, which is intensive care for babies, neo intensive care.
Yep.
So they take the baby to another hospital because they couldn't deal with it. He gets a $70,000 bill. Now come on. Who in their right mind can pay that? Because it was out of network, they're saying he has to pay 70 grand. They're not going to pay 70 grand.
No.
303-713-TALK. Speaking of attorneys, Betty wants to talk about an attorney. Go ahead, Betty.
Hi, Tom.
Hi.
I just wanted to give kudos to Bonnie Shields.
Bonnie Shields. Yeah, she's our she's our family attorney, family law. What happened? What went on?
Well, I have this, I don't know if I can say the B word on radio, but I'm just going to use B.
Okay.
My brother has dementia. One of my brothers has dementia, and his B of an ex-wife tried to take everything from him by having him sign papers of common law marriage, quitclaim deed.
Were they married?
They were married back in 86 and got divorced in 92.
And she made him sign something saying they were still married?
No, they were... Well, she remarried after she got divorced from my brother back in 1992.
Okay, so what did she do to him recently?
Well, back in August of 2014, their son died suddenly. That they had. He had blood clots in his heart. He was 27, or blood clots in his heart. He was 27.
Terrible.
So right away, she bugs him over to a lawyer over in the neighboring town. This is in Loveland, and she took him to a neighboring town over in Weld County, and had him sign all these things that gives her the house, the power of attorney over everything.
You mean she had him sign over the rights to the son's estate?
Yes.
Because they were both
didn't have an estate.
Then what did he sign over in 2014? If they were divorced all this time, why did she came back years later? For what reason?
She came back and begged him to rent a room. In his house.
She was homeless.
She was No, she was not homeless. She made up this story about how hard it is for her to pay rent and blah blah blah, and so he let her move in there because he's a kind-hearted soul. He likes to help people.
Then what happened?
Our mother, well, then when the son died and she saw her future go down the tubes because the son was going to inherit everything of my brother's. And so, not that my brother has a lot, but he has this old house that he's done a lot of work on.
So when the son died, she's living with her ex, sucking off of him, and then the son dies, and what happens?
No, she split with that. She split with her other husband long before that because he wanted to move to California. She didn't, so she divorced him.
Okay, so what did she do to your brother? What did she do to your brother?
She took him over to a neighboring town in Weld County.
And had him sign over stuff.
She had him sign. He didn't. I asked him once. I said, well, didn't you know what you were signing? He said, my head don't work right, Zach just
So
died.
wait, after all these years, he's literally signed over all his stuff to her.
Because he has dementia and he did not know what he was
So
signing.
what did Bonnie Shields do for you? This is very interesting. What did he do for her? Or what did Bonnie do for him, I mean?
Well, my two brothers and I got together, and she got his house back for him.
Really? Holy crap. That's major news.
The house. Yes, it is. She got everything back for us, and so my brother's going to be able to move back into his house.
Wow.
His be of an ex-wife. Thank God she ended up with nothing.
That's major, Betty. That's major. She had did Bonnie prove that it was a fraudulent transfer?
Yes, we had him. We had taken him to a geriatric neuropsychologist, and she did this massive evaluation that showed that he was below the 1 percentile. He doesn't comprehend. He doesn't understand.
Wow.
And Bonnie got our house back. I mean, she fought like a little
That's
tiger.
Incredible. That is incredible.
She tried to save us every penny she could possibly save us. I mean, I could just cry. I'm sorry.
Betty, that's when you said you had kudos for Bonnie, I never realized how major that deal is. Thank you for calling, Betty. Listen, Suzanne, if you could just keep her on hold for a second because I want to say something. Bonnie Shields, wow. And her number, roughly, let me give that to you. It's 303-798-1927. Wow, is that great news to start off a show? We saved somebody's home, or Bonnie did, and she found out about Bonnie through the referral list.
That's awesome.
Unbelievable. Construction crashes and malfunctions, clogging up the drive across. There's a wreck on the highway southbound I-225.
Is it break?
Colfax,
It's break.
Oh,
we're on commercial.
Westbound I-70 approaching Colorado.
What do you do on break?
Is that what he said?
He's got plans.
He's out of here.
You can do some dancing. You're still on camera.
Stuck in the down position. This is
Are you leaving, bro?
Yeah.
Okay, let me help you.
Directions are blocked. The weather forecast.
I'm going to put you on the elevator. Is that fine?
Today with a high of 88.
Okay,
Right
leave
now,
my stuff. Wait a minute. You can ride the elevator by yourself?
Yeah. I'm Pete Wagner. 630 K-How.
He's a cutie pie.
I was talking to Tom last night. I could hear him in the background. It was so funny.
Aww.
I'm thinking, poor Tom. There's one part about having kids later in life is, boy, they'll keep you up, man. You could just
They're relentless.
He brought him to Six Flags, but Elitch's last weekend. You just tell he was like,
Yeah, they don't stop. They don't stop.
And then as soon as you're done 6 hours in the park, they want to go do something else.
Yeah, then it's like, now I'm bored.
Are we going to go eat?
Yeah, what are we doing now?
Better Elitch's than Disneyland.
Disney, oh my God.
Usually in the summer, it's hot.
Oh yeah, it can be so hot.
The lines are
The
there.
lines suck.
Everything is expensive.
Yes, it's true.
I bought a beer there, and they got a place where they have like beers around the world. It's like $14, man. I was like, oh my goodness.
Oh no, it's crazy expensive there.
It is crazy.
Buy a little postcard, that's $5.
Now I'll tell you what we did love, and the rides were 100 times better, was Universal Studios.
Yeah.
Rock and roll.
Fun.
They got a whole roller coaster that it takes off going uphill just as fast as downhill.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's like some kind of magnetic thing or something.
Wow.
Oh, right outside of Vegas, last week we went on one of the fastest roller coasters in the world.
So where outside of Vegas?
Right at the border in between, it's called, I can't think of the name of it. It's right at the border in between Nevada and California.
Okay.
It's like the last gambling town before you leave.
And they have a big amusement
Big
park?
roller coaster.
Wow.
And it was, I would not do it again. It's not scary, but it's so fast when you go around the corner.
It hurts.
Oh my God, does it hurt?
See, I can't do that shit anymore. Excuse me.
What? Oh, it hurts.
My neck. My neck.
Oh, really?
I have a bad neck. And like those wooden ones.
That,
You feel like you've been in a firefight after you get off of one of those.
How'd you hurt your neck?
A couple of car accidents, and I got whiplash at 8, and it's never been good since then.
This did 80 something.
God, he hijacked my phone. It's probably dead by now.
It was
he was enjoying himself in there. But yeah, I can't do that. So if you're like, you know.
Oh my God, it is so fast. And then once you're done that first one, you're like, oh, thank God. And then the thing just goes faster. My kids loved it. I was like,
I like some. I like the ones that drop you down. That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
oh, those are great.
Those are great.
I just don't like the.
You like the one your daughter was on them.
Oh yeah, she jumped off the stratosphere.
Oh yeah, yeah. I haven't done that, but
She
that
was,
sounds fun.
You should have seen. I got a pretty good video of her just stepping up and looking down.
Oh,
I think it's 50 plus
is
stories.
it a bungee?
It's not a bungee. It's like a cable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Suzanne's got a picture yet.
Was she pumped after? Was she like, that was amazing?
She didn't look.
She was
She
so
just looked
scared.
very calm.
Well,
she worked it.
when the first time I skydived, when they're, I'm strapped to this guy, and he's crab crawling towards the exit of this big Cessna, and I'm like, I didn't have any questions up till then. I said, how many people chicken out right about now? Because my brain was seriously going, what are you, retarded?
But you wouldn't, that kind of thing, that jumping off there wouldn't scare the living piss out of you?
No way.
So,
but he must have been asked that question.
Yeah.
People must have chickened out on him 100 times because he didn't answer and started
Just
speeding
like,
up.
yep, we're
Next thing I
going.
know, I'm in the air.
Yep.
So.
Too late now.
But the second I was in the air, this thought came. It's totally out of my control. There's nothing I can do now. Enjoy it.
Just enjoy it.
And I loved it. The second we got to the bottom, I was like, I want to go again.
Well, you don't have the feeling of falling.
Once you're, except for the very initial.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. Welcoming our newest member of sleazebrigade.com. And Sleaze Brigade's very important. The worst of the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst.
He was so obnoxious with
Eric Laxon.
Dan on the phone today. I mean, or yesterday. I can't believe it. Threatening almost.
Well, no, if he's threatening, we're going to call the police. That's all there is to it. I mean, he didn't really get that threatening, right, Dan? You wouldn't.
Yeah, he just talked about what if I come over there to the station?
Well, we've got his license, we've got his address. I'm going to get some video with him, so I guess I'll get to meet this guy.
But we need to sue him. He thinks he says this needs to be in court. These jerks, when they say that, they're not willing to go to court. We'll kick their asses all over court. Let's just do it. Let's just show the man what life is about. These victims don't have the wherewithal to sue. We need to file a lawsuit against this guy and the last guy, this Greg Martinez. These people are just bad people. We need to show them and teach them a lesson. I'm serious. You can't rip people off. That's all we want to do is keep you from ripping people off. There's no excuse ever for ripping people off. There's no excuse, Eric Laxon, for taking what you did from her and not doing the work. There's no excuse for taking her credit card and using it for yourself. How do people justify it? Dan, what did he say? How did he justify it? Does he have any kind of justification?
He said it's got to be in the court. It's got to be taken to court. He said we don't have the whole story.
I want to see how he justifies all the food he bought on her credit card.
And he won't come on the radio.
And justifying how he bought stuff and then returned it for cash on her credit card.
Eric Laxon, Denver Kitchen and Bath. Also, he goes by Denver Drain. He has a phone number you need to look out for. He actually has 2 phone numbers. One was online for his business, 303-838-2148. I don't know where that rings through, but that was Denver Kitchen and Bath, or Denver Drains. And then his other phone, his cell, 720-369-2663. And I only give that number out so you can avoid it if you see it in an advertisement.
And let's not forget, the one we're talking about, the $34,000 he took from this lady, is only one of them in the same complex. Another elderly woman who lives right next door he took, and then another one. This guy is everywhere.
Now, let's talk to David. Sounds like he has a very serious problem. David, what's happening? What's going on, David?
Well, I've got a problem with the Colorado State Education Department and/or Douglas County School District.
What's going on?
They won't pay the tuition fees for my daughter Haley to attend kindergarten in the fall.
Now, what do you mean they won't pay tuition? What does that mean? She just, if you're in the school district, you just go to kindergarten. There is no tuition.
No, but they have a rule that says that she has to have been, she has to be 5 by by September 30th, 2017.
5 by September 30th, right.
Right. She's 5 on October 2nd, so she misses the cutoff by 2 days.
Yeah, that happened to me too. Exactly the same date for my son. Exactly happened.
What's happening with us?
But that's why they have dates. I mean, in other words, it's pretty cut and dry. So what's the problem?
My problem is I've paid $7,000 for my daughter to attend 2 years of preschool.
Wait a minute. Where did you pay that money?
In Parker, my daughter went to Little
It's a charter school STEM, correct, David?
So wait. You actually paid, and then they said she
can't.
No,
preschool,
he
Tom.
paid for preschool, and now he's stuck because she can't go into kindergarten.
Oh, but you got what you paid for, right, David?
I got what I paid for. My daughter got 2 years of education.
Good.
The problem is now she's stuck in limbo.
Right.
I want her to go to kindergarten.
Right.
She's able to go to kindergarten.
Right.
She has all of the training. All the kids in her.
No, I understand. I understand what you're saying. It makes sense to me. But they just have these stupid rules. I mean, and I say stupid, but I don't know. I guess they're not stupid. Are you making the argument that they should not have let her in preschool because they should have known she couldn't get into kindergarten as a continuation?
No, I mean she has all the abilities to progress into kindergarten.
What is it that they're looking for with
Well, you got to have a date at some time. So if they let his daughter with 2 days,
well, I know we always say
then
that.
Then can it be 4, 6, 8?
Pardon me, Tom.
Yes.
So pardon me, David. Let me just explain something. This school, which is a STEM school, kind of like a charter, I guess, they will allow her to attend kindergarten, but he's going to have to pay the tuition.
Wait a minute. Why is it okay? Wait. Why is it okay if he pays? That part I don't understand at all.
It's a different school. It's where she went to preschool. Is willing to let her in kindergarten for the price.
Now, does everyone pay to go there?
No, I mean the state pays if she met that age restriction. If she was born on September 30th,
what I'm getting at is she could go to that STEM school, and the state, or not the state, but the school district would pay. In other words, not pay, but she could go free if she had a birthday a little earlier.
Correct.
But because she doesn't, they're saying she can still go, but you pay.
Correct.
But that, I don't understand.
But then this is the problem every year. She's not going to be old enough for first grade.
No,
so then they're going to cause a stink for that.
No. Well, they wouldn't do that every year.
I don't know. That was David's concern.
You hear about kids skipping grades all the time.
I don't think that happens.
She did not test out to skip a grade.
They do not have age requirements for each grade. They only have age requirements to start.
Okay, I did not know that.
They have age restrictions for kindergarten and first grade. So I will have to pay the tuition for kindergarten and first grade.
Or skip a year.
Well, yeah, but I mean...
She's not qualified to skip.
David, this happened to me. I couldn't get my kid into school. He had to wait a whole year. And my God, he could have done the work of a fourth grader, but he couldn't get in.
Right.
You know, I had the same thing. The same exact thing. So if you find out how to do it, let me know.
Okay.
He did. You pay.
I didn't even realize. I would have paid. I wasn't even given that option.
Well, my problem is I've already paid $73,000 for private education for my elder 2 kids.
Oh, your elder, yeah. Listen, David,
I can't afford that anymore.
David, I'm not suggesting you should have to pay, but I'm not arguing that part. I understand your concern, and you make total sense to me. But don't we understand that they have rules for admittance? I mean, it's like getting a driver's license. You know, if your kid's ready, it doesn't mean he gets it.
No, but yes, I understand that. My problem is that they have other rules which do allow some kids through.
Like what? Why?
They have a highly gifted program.
If they test out.
No, wait, hold on a sec. Right. Hold on. If your kid tested out, they could get into kindergarten.
That's correct, Tom.
Wait a minute.
Yes. But what they're looking for is only the top 2%. So my daughter, when she went through...
But I didn't even know that part because my kid could have easily tested.
But he's talking about a particular school, though. Don't forget that.
No, this is Douglas County. I've spent
but it's the STEM school.
No, it's Douglas County, but you have to test as gifted.
Let me get this straight. Let's just hold on. Let me get this straight. Okay. Let's say David wants to send his kid to kindergarten, and her birthday is 10/2. They say... No, she misses the birth. She's too young by a few days, right?
Correct.
Okay, now, they say to him, however, if you want to pay, we'll allow her to go. Now, I think there's a reason, and I know what the reason is, okay? Then they say, however, if she tests into the grade, then, and she's in the top 2%, then we'll let her go free. So now I understand. Here's why. And this is what's happening, David. State funding per student is age dependent. In other words, they require that in order for them to pay for a student, for the state to pay for a student, and for the school to get reimbursed, the student must be a certain age, or they must be in a certain demographic, which is top 2% of the testing. So I understand. I'm not saying I agree. I understand. That's why you're being asked to pay, because that the school itself doesn't care, but they're not going to get reimbursed. They have an extra student there, and they're not getting paid. So they want you to pay.
I understand what you're saying, but there's a couple of things that, to me, logically don't make sense.
What is it? Because I don't see anything logically that doesn't make sense. What doesn't make sense?
The first thing is that the whole thing about 2%, that the 2% has no bearing on whether or not my daughter is capable of going into kindergarten.
He makes a point that what difference does it make, the test, if the test is to determine if they can do the work or not?
No, but it's not. That's what I'm saying. That's my point.
Well, hold on a second, all right? I'd like to get some parents' opinions. I mean, but really, we have to have a cutoff, right? I understand. I also understand that you have to make exceptions, and they do. They make exceptions for testing. What I don't understand is David's total logic. He's saying that it makes no sense because she can do the work. Well, I'm sure there are plenty of kids who can do the work, but they still can't get in because they're too young. What about someone who's 4 years old that can do the work? I mean, I'm sure there are kids. So I don't think that alone is a good enough argument. One Clear Choice Garage Doors, the place that I would go if I had a garage door problem. All you have to do is give them a call. You wake up, the spring's not working, you can't open your door. They have services that they can render immediately. One Clear Choice Door, OneClearChoiceDoors.com, or a new installation for as low as $2.99, or the free inspection and tune-up if you mention my name, Martino, 303-565-6409.
Why does he think doing the work matters? Because there are kids 3 or 4 that can do the work.
Right.
But I'm really pissed because Bonnie could have gotten in school.
Were you in Douglas County?
Yeah, we were, weren't we? We were in Franktown. And he could have tested into any goddamn school. I wonder why we weren't given. We were never told.
Maybe the rules were different then.
We were never told if he takes a test, he can get in.
Right.
I would have said, Bonnie, take the freaking test.
Right.
No, but maybe it wasn't just a test. Maybe it was that whole preschool is what judges it. 2% coming out. I don't know. I
don't either.
He's got a 160 IQ.
That's huge.
I know. That's trouble.
I was going to say, that's a double-edged sword.
Well, he's going to a special school.
Yeah. You need that, for sure. There's no way public school can handle a kid like that. No. Public schools.
He'll be manipulating the teacher and the system
quicker
than you'd ever know.
He'll be miserable.
Do you know what he told me when I said he had to go to this school? Dad, I don't want to. I said, but you're going to be a lot of smart kids. He goes, I want to stand out.
Oh.
I want to be.
I want to be the big fish in the little pond.
I like chilling. He's lazy.
Don't waste your money on him.
I get it.
No, he is.
I know. I get it.
He does his homework.
Yep.
He does his homework like when she gives it out before he even. So here's the deal. But I told him, be smart. If you're lazy, you're never going to get anywhere. It doesn't matter if you're smart.
No, then
smart doesn't pay.
Yeah, right. What's the school he's at?
It's I forget, but it was started from Stanford, and they meet, I think, at DU.
Cool.
Or something. It's an open campus.
Yeah.
Walls.
Awesome.
So, and actually, my daughter tested in it too. So they get to do the work that's appropriate for their level.
Mm-hmm.
So, like in reading, he'll be a 9th, and for math, he'll be a 9th, but he'll be in 7th for something else.
Right.
So whatever
they just meet them where they're at.
There's no walls.
Yeah.
So he can graduate. They let you graduate by credits. By 14, you can graduate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I dated a
So
guy
I told
like that.
him if he graduates at 14,
Yeah.
then he gets a brand new car at 16. But that's if he graduates at 14. If he graduates regular, he gets
And then would you'd go into college at 14?
No, I don't know if I let him, but
You could. I dated a guy like that. I think he started college at 16.
I don't think it would be good to send him because he's not mature.
No.
No, not to a typical.
It's a very, he's not going to have a typical college experience.
He's smart, but he's
yeah.
not mature.
No, two totally different things.
Well, how do you? What would you?
And he's also lazy too. So it's disgusting.
Well, then, yeah.
Here's the problem. Because he's so smart, he expects them to be mature as well.
Right.
And not lazy as well.
But he's still
He's
a little...
normal in a lot of ways, but then he's extra smart.
No, it's hard. You got to check yourself constantly, I think, in that situation.
So you dated him, he was 16 and you were 21?
No. It was, I actually met him when I was studying for the LSAT. He was teaching the MCAT class. And we make a date. We're getting, going out, and he's like, I got to tell you something. I was, 27. He's like, I'm not 21 yet. I was like, what are you doing? You're teaching the MCAT class. You're years out of college? Yeah, because he was a little baby genius. He didn't know how to ride a bike or drive a car, though, because it was very tunnel vision. No, he had anxiety about stuff like that.
Does he like school, though?
He kind of all right.
I hated
He likes the social part.
Right, the social part.
It's the most boring thing in the world.
He likes self-educating because he's always
he's into that.
He's doing TED Talks,
stuff that he likes.
That's awesome.
And he does coding. And
it's just a matter of getting him engaged. It'll be a constant.
There are plenty of smart kids that live in their parents' basement.
Oh, trust me,
God,
I know.
And they never move out of their parents' basement.
In fact, I think this a lot of so-called geniuses actually have a harder time adapting because things come so easy. They don't enjoy the learning.
Right.
It's not a challenge. I enjoy learning because to me it's somewhat challenging and I like challenges.
Yeah.
But I don't think, I don't know.
That's interesting.
We gotta figure it out.
No, but you're on the right path. You're getting them into school. I went to Greenberg for my freaking graduation in Jersey. It was totally open. It's whatever.
I thought you went to military school.
I did. I got kicked out of there.
Oh, it's too open.
You know how hard it is to get kicked out of military school?
Military.
So then they went the complete opposite, and I ended up going to a private school where literally I came and went as I want.
Yep.
And then finally I just said, oh man, I can take this test right now. I took my GED at 15 and I was done.
I'm done.
Oh, really? Wow. That's what I'm afraid of.
Right.
Yeah.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Okay, listen. If your child is too young to get into school and does not test into the school, you have to pay the tuition privately because the state will not reimburse the school district. We all understand that. But David's upset because he says, what difference does it make if she passes that test in the top 2 percentile that they require? What difference does that make if she can do the work? I think that's the argument he's making. Let's just see that first. Is that the illogical part you see and the part you're fighting, David?
Yeah.
So you're saying, listen, I understand the age thing. I understand the age thing. There's got to be a certain age, or they have to test into a certain a section.
The test is my problem. The test has no bearing whatsoever on whether my daughter is able to go.
But my God,
but
you
David,
can argue that with
David,
with
the
SATs.
The test is what the state requires for them to ferret out all the younger kids that want to go. But here's the question I have. Is this test, Suzanne, is this test only for 4-year-olds that are going to be 5 or 5 that are going to be, or is it for anyone?
I'm trying to find out, but I don't think so, Tom.
Could my 3-year-old take this test?
I don't know.
Well, I don't know either, because that's the question. But then David...
Theoretically, yes.
But David, here's the point. Now listen, and you sound like a logical guy, but we got to ask you something, and that is this. Your argument is, because my daughter can do the work, she should be able to attend kindergarten, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, and the state should reimburse tuition to the school. Now,
yes.
If that logic holds true, then you're saying any child who can do the work should be allowed to attend kindergarten, and there should be no age restriction at all. Is that what you're saying?
Why not?
Okay, if that's the case, then you'd have to change the law. Because right now, okay, then, hold on, then what would determine, based on your logic, let's say we wave our magic wand, David's law is now in effect. If you can do the work, you can get into the school, no age restriction. Now the next question, next logical question, David, is how do you know if they can do the work? What's your answer?
That's my point. They don't, and that's
David,
why I'm so upset.
I'm asking you, if you were given your way, how do you prove a child can do the work?
Well, why not have a test that has more bearing?
Here's how.
Okay,
I found out how they did it.
Hold on. I need to let him make his point. He is saying have a test that is a realistic test.
Correct.
Okay, tell me, what is the test they now give that you disagree with?
There is no test. That's what I'm saying.
They're taking what she did in preschool. Here's what it says on their website.
Okay.
In order to make the best decision for young children of Douglas County School District, a full portfolio of evidence is used to evaluate each child brought forward as a candidate.
So, Mark, what do they do? Do they take her body of work in preschool?
Yes.
And they only take the top 2%?
And only the top 2%. And there is absolutely 100% zero waivers.
Now, David, if your daughter was not... David, if your daughter was not in the top 2%,
right,
why should she be allowed?
Because she's capable. She's in a class. She's been in the class.
But David,
she didn't do it.
But David, no. He's saying there are plenty of kids that are outside the top 2%.
My daughter has been in a class from pre-3s into pre-4s with a group of kids who are all going to kindergarten.
But I don't think the schools could afford it if just because kids can go, they're allowed to go.
Of course they can afford it. I mean,
no, well, what are you talking about, David?
My nephew.
What are you talking about? Right now, the schools do not have a load of money.
But listen. My nephew is actually, according to Douglas County, 2 school years older than my daughter. But he was held back voluntarily by his parents because he wasn't ready to go. So if they allow some parents to hold some kids back, why is it not logical to also allow some kids to progress sooner if they're ready to go?
Because I think a lot of parents would push their kids to get them out of the house and use them as daycare, and I think that's not the way. Look, at David, there has to be a cutoff, okay?
It does, but listen, the other issue, the other huge issue that I have about all of this is that Douglas County will allow a kid into kindergarten based on their age, even if they've never set foot in a preschool in their life.
I understand.
Their first day in school.
Because it's a right. Because it's a right.
Can I make a point, Tom?
Yes, go ahead, Suzanne.
I'm just wondering, David, wherever you're from, I wonder if their rules are a little more lax out there. You don't sound like you're from the States.
No, I'm from England.
Well, how long have you been here, by the way? And it doesn't matter to me. How long?
24 years.
Okay, so he's as American as we are. So, David, your children can't go. I mean, your one daughter can't go. I mean, they say there's zero tolerance, zero waivers. They mean it.
Well, except for one thing.
Have you tried another
Greenbacks, he can pay. Let's not forget that part.
Have you tried another district?
Yes, and they're all the same.
They really are?
There are 2 ways. What I found out in my extensive conversations with Douglas County, it's not only the 2% in the gifted program, but they're also willing to let kids of active military go as well. So they're demonstrating that they are willing to be flexible. It's just my criteria doesn't fit their criteria.
Well, yours is general criteria. They can't afford to, because there would be so many children eligible that the school system is generally not set up for 3 and 4 years old.
It's called daycare.
And it's called capacity, David. I mean, sure, could they make an exception for 1 or 2 kids here and there? They could, but they don't. I mean, I don't think you're going to win the argument.
This is also a House bill, by the way. It's House Bill 1021. So I mean, it is defined in legislation. That's why there's, you know, it is what it is. It's a rule.
Now, David, it's not that I even disagree, David, because if we got into an educational discussion, I would shock you, because truly, I don't believe there should be any age requirement for school at all. I agree with you, but that's not the way it is. I also believe that children should be able to advance or not based on their abilities only. I don't believe in grade systems. I think there are kids that they're being treated like cattle, and they should advance. There should be no walls. If you have a group of kids of various ages in 5th grade because they can do the work, and in fact, I think they should go one step further. If they do math and science better than they do reading, they should advance there, and they should let each child advance to their own degree, but they don't. I mean, it doesn't matter what I believe. Huh?
We're in agreement on all that.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter what I believe.
Exactly, and the same with me. However, everything we're talking about is irrelevant. If I fork out $14,000, my daughter can go next year.
Right.
She will be in kindergarten.
Right.
It's just
because the state won't fund your daughter, David.
That's not, David,
school's
because
not getting the money.
I've got to pay.
It's not because the school is being greedy. What they're saying to you is, David, if we allow your daughter to come to this Douglas County school, this is what they're saying, the state's not going to reimburse us, and we need the money, so you have to do it. That's what they're saying. It's so plain. I'd like to hear other parents' thoughts, and again, I have to take other people's calls. Some people have even dropped off because we handled this problem. So stick with us, please, and I promise you, we will take your calls. We will talk about very near and dear issues. Genesis Total Exteriors, home improvements. It's a hot topic right now. You've heard me on this show talk about ripoffs. You heard me warn people. You don't have to worry about Genesis Total Exteriors and home improvements. Mark Szymanski, 303-679-8509.
He doesn't want to give up.
No, I
doesn't want to give up.
I know his point, but you can't.
Yeah, it's like.
But it's not a problem that's going to be solved. It's just not going to be solved.
You can have 100 different parents and 100 different ways how they deal with it.
Well, and you know, a test doesn't show that they're ready for kindergarten. Kindergarten's about a lot more than work. It's social stuff that you're learning.
You can have a guy though.
No, yeah. Well, he's sick of paying for private school. Those older kids, they were worth it. Not this little one. What he said. If you want it for free, it's not always the best.
I forked up
I pulled my guy out of public, and they couldn't help him.
He's just pissed. I mean.
Yeah. Yep.
This is the only place for Sean Hannity and Glenn Beck. Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
Yeah, there was no test that she didn't get into 2%.
It's the past performance.
You could take somebody with, like he said, 160 IQ, and if they don't want to work, who cares if they can pass the test? That's right. They got to prove that they are going to work hard.
Right. Or that, you know, they're ready for that environment. It's not, it's a little...
I love what our kids did for Douglas County. They have a school where they have special needs of all sorts. Anything from autism, Asperger's, to mentally everything. And even physically challenged, everything. But they try to integrate those students with the normal, I hate to use that word.
We need more of those schools.
And our kids went to that, and it taught them so much, it was incredible.
I know. They need more options.
Oh my God.
You need to open the box up.
It really, my kids right now, when they see someone either handicapped or something like that, they don't look at them like, oh, these are handicapped people, they're different.
It's a person.
Because they literally played with these kids for years.
Did it slow down the rest of the class when they had those?
No, because they have so much focus in these schools. They might have one main teacher and then 4 teachers assistants.
So there's a lot of other stuff going on.
So there's, you know, just because everything's going on. Because really what sucks if your kid's handicapped or something like that, when I went to school, man, they ended up literally on the short bus and literally in their own room. They weren't socialized.
Not
and
at all.
I think the most important part is the socialization.
Absolutely.
Institute of America is in Denver, so if you're suffering from
Geez, our school was so small we didn't have anything.
I know, you were like down by the creek and
we didn't even have a short bus.
We didn't have a bus.
Where did you go to school? My graduating class was 17.
That's tiny.
Where is that?
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
By the creek.
17.
By the creek.
How many were in the school?
All 12 grades. When I started, we didn't have kindergarten.
Wow, first through
We're all in
12.
the same school.
How many kids in the school at one given time?
Well, say 16 times 12, so 160.
Would you like help out the grade below you, or was it that model?
There was a tutoring thing that you could do for a class to class and help tutoring.
My dad was in a school like that, but when he went to high school, it changed. He was in a real high school.
High school went upstairs. That's what. Grade
Yeah,
school down
right,
there.
right.
High school went upstairs.
Start living once again. 888-628.
But you missed a lot, like I said, and everybody was in the same class. There was people with, I'm sure, ADD.
My dad was in, up until like 10th grade, he was in a schoolhouse that had probably 20 people, and it was every grade.
Oh, he was in that's like my dad too. Then yeah, he was a little
Clifton
country
Park,
school.
Clifton Park, New York. And then on the week,
I knew where Clifton Park.
I do too.
Yeah.
Really?
We are going to be staying. We stay there every year.
In Clifton Park?
Oh, don't even get me.
He's brought me
We
there
go
so many
and we
times, I
visit
feel like
Mike's
I was there.
family. That's our big vacation every year.
Oh, Clifton Park?
They're all from Syracuse, and we go to Saratoga. But
That's
it's
where my dad
cheaper.
graduated,
It's
Syracuse.
cheaper than staying in Saratoga,
Oh, okay.
so you get a bigger room, more rooms,
Clifton Park, you gotta see this.
and then
place.
it's in between Lake George and Saratoga.
He grew up
So,
he grew up
yeah.
next to the cemetery.
Oh Lord, I know. I'm staying there for 5 nights at a like a Marriott.
Maybe you
Yeah,
go visit the school.
in July.
They had no electricity, and they had to go out for well water.
It's real
every day.
upstate. Yeah, it's
Oh,
real
yeah.
upstate. Saratoga is a beautiful place, though, and we go to the racetrack.
I love Saratoga
Yeah.
racetrack.
But it's you know, it's hot. There's not a lot of rooms
No.
available
People
for
think
like
in New
my,
York, man,
yeah.
it's like nothing like
No. So
nothing
20
like.
minutes away.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome. 303-713-TALK. Gigi Wink from Wink and Wink.
Yes.
They are bankruptcy attorneys, and they also do some debt settlement. And I would say that now with the economy the way it is, bankruptcies are fewer.
They are.
But are credit card companies less likely to want to settle?
No, it seems to be about the same. I think they, you know, the way we try to work it is if you're looking to settle, they're pretty willing to settle for about 50%.
Really?
If you go into default.
If it's a big debt, I would imagine.
Yes. If you're gonna really play hardball and try to get a better deal than that, usually your best bet is to wait until it gets outsourced to a collection agency or sold to a debt buyer. The trick is, if you wait too long and you're driving too hard a bargain, eventually they're going to sue you, and then you're back where you started or worse because they've spent money now trying to collect and you haven't. But they're definitely, I think that's kind of priced into the business model for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you need help, give us a call. And you have any questions on restructuring debt?
Well, at the top of the game, if you will, was it almost all Chapter 7s? I know you had some 13s, but was it like 95% were 7s and, say, 2000?
Yes.
Or
however,
2010, whatever.
Yeah, right around there, 9, 10, mostly, probably 90% 7s. And then 13s, we were filing because you could strip off your second mortgage. We were stripping off second mortgages like it was going out of style. You can only do that in a 13, and I can't remember the last time we were able to do that because your equity has to be below the value of the first mortgage. And just about everyone's got equity.
Nowadays that's almost impossible.
Yep.
Steve, you want to comment on that kindergarten thing? Go ahead.
Yeah, and I think it's Mark there. I think he lives in Douglas County. He can probably confirm that there's a huge battle going to go on in November. The caller, and no disrespect to him, but it just seems to be just typical for what's going on in Douglas County now, even down to the what disinfectant the janitors use on the desks in the evening. every little thing that they can argue about. I have a sister-in-law that is the national director of kinder care, and I can tell you there is criteria. They do charting because they know that when these children get passed off to kindergarten or first grade or whatever it's going to be, they have to have charts to say what the intellectual cognitive skills are of that child. So in some respects, I have no I have no sympathy for the gentleman because the tests are the tests, and they're pretty darn accurate.
Well, not only that, it's the embodiment of the work she did in the preschool system. So, I mean, she didn't cut it for top 2%.
Now, the bottom line is there has to be some cutoff. I mean, there has to be some rule. Although I personally believe schools should be open.
Or cop up the money if you have it.
Yeah, but you know, having an open school is going to be very difficult with the budgets we have.
Yeah, but we've had the conversation before where you have arguments against charter schools because they're pulling from the others. So what would be the difference a charter school or an open school? They're still going to pull away from the main.
No, I think all schools should be open. I mean, I think we just should improve the public system.
Boy, I agree with that.
Let's, you know, and that's easier said than done. Of course, anybody can say that. But I do have specifics in mind if anyone ever cared. Scott, what's going on?
Are you there?
Yes, Scott. What's that noise? What? Go ahead. Go ahead, Scott.
That's my trash truck.
Oh, what's happening?
So I have a 2015 GMC pickup truck. A caliper froze on it, so it's in for warranty work. While it was at the dealership, someone broke into the truck.
Sucks.
Is that my responsibility?
It depends. It depends, Scott.
I've had this happen in my shop. Where was the truck?
Now, Scott. Let me just say this to begin with. It depends on this, okay? If the dealership did anything negligent or to contribute to it, then they would have some responsibility. But it would be the same as parking and going shopping or parking at your friend's house. If your truck is broken into, the mere fact that it's parked there doesn't give them liability. So what were the circumstances?
Well, it was in for warranty work. They had control of it. I dropped it off Monday morning. It got broke into Monday night into Tuesday morning. Myself.
Yeah, but why would they be liable? Tell me what you think.
Well, that's what I'm trying to find out. Well, they had possession of it.
I would argue if it happened inside the building.
But possession, Scott, doesn't make them responsible. If you borrowed a friend's car and it was at your house and it was broken into, you're not responsible. Or if somebody's driving down the street and runs into it, or if you borrowed the car and you're in shopping somewhere, I mean, you know that, right? Or would you?
He was an employee.
Or would you say that no matter what, if someone has possession, they're responsible?
Well, I would think, like a car dealership, I would think they would have responsibility for it.
But they don't. They don't. I mean, it's not just my opinion, and we can talk about this. I mean, if there are extenuating circumstances, I'd like to know about it. Did they leave the window open? Did they do something? We'll talk.
If it was an employee, I would say they need to cover it. Of course, if an employee broke into it or stole from it, that would be the only way I'd see it.
Here to explain is Brent.
It's just like hail damage, right?
Of Ideal Home Loans.
If it's there, you got hail damage, you're not responsible for
You
it.
let your mortgage work for you. Take care of that credit card debt. It's compounded daily, financed at high rates. You could be saving well over $1,000 a month. And remember, we're not going to have you stretch your debt out over 30 years. If you apply a portion of that savings back towards your home loan, you're going to be completely debt-free, mortgage and all, sooner rather than later. How do we get started? You can call us at 303-867-7000 or apply online at idealhomeloans.com.
Call now, 303-867-7000. That's 867-7000 or idealhomeloans.com.
Ideal Home Loans is regulated by the Division of Real Estate, NMLS number 136756. Call 303-867-7000. Example based on $250,000 loan amount, 32% DTI, 740 credit score, owner-occupied financing, 80% loan to value.
idealhomeloans.com.
This is Denver's Talk Station. More with Martino after the news on 630 KHOW, an iHeart radio station. KHOW, Denver.
NBC News Radio, I'm Lisa Carter. President Trump is optimistic that a great health care plan will come out of the Republican-led Congress.
I bet it's going to be super. There is no, here's the problem, there is no way to give everybody free health insurance. You just can't do it without taking the money from people that have money. You cannot do it. So I have come to the conclusion that I'm not an asshole, and no, I'm serious, and I make enough money to where I should chip in and pay. Now, I don't like paying that 3.8%. That's where they go too far. They need to roll that back. And if people are able to work, fuck them, they shouldn't get free shit.
They should go through Social Security disability and kick people
You
off.
shouldn't get free stuff if you're able to work. If you're able-minded, able-bodied, there's no way you should be on the public draw.
Right. Like I said, Social Security disability is one of the reasons that just Social Security is going broke.
Yeah, but a lot of these people go through and they really do need it. Those I need. If you're able-bodied, able-minded, I don't understand why the hell I got to give you shit.
Absolutely. I think you're. It's just that how do you weed that out?
Yeah, what's the litmus test? I don't know how you do that, Dan, but I'll tell you this. Once you give people shit, good luck taking it away, man.
That's probably the most. You're right.
Good luck taking it away.
Even if it was given to them on a false pretense, try to take it away.
I can't think of a time in history we have, you know?
Probably not a great
Take
idea.
stuff away.
The Chinese airline
Yeah, like that, to that magnitude.
for more than 5 hours yesterday after an elderly.
That's why they jammed it through so quick. They knew once the subsidy was there.
The precedence has been set.
NBC News Radio.
And once again, it's a good idea for everybody to have health coverage, but you got to pay. You got to pay, man. And mandating an 18-year-old buy it is the dumbest thing I ever had. I never even thought of insurance, so we basically had kids. I didn't give a shit. And honestly, Planned Parenthood, taking money from them, I think is bullshit, because that's how we got birth control. We didn't have insurance. We went to Planned Parenthood. Now we paid, but it was next to nothing for her birth control.
I think birth control is next to nothing.
So taking money from Planned Parenthood, I find, is absolutely insane, too.
What do you mean taking money?
Taking the subsidies they get for birth control, I think, is crazy.
Oh.
I don't think they should be doing, I don't even, the abortion thing's a whole different thing. I'm not even talking about that. Right now, the tax dollars apparently don't pay for abortions, but I'm talking just for birth control.
Our performance speaks for itself. Whether it's kitchens, baths, counters, or...
Right, Gigi?
Sure. Yeah. Birth control's good.
Hey, we had no insurance back then.
I was Planned Parenthood.
We were, and they were great.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong
They were
with
great.
Planned.
I was the one on 13th. I'd go the one on 13th.
Well, why should the government?
Because the government wasn't stupid. They said, hey, if we put them on birth control, we're not going to be giving them money for welfare and everything else later. Why not spend the $40 on... Oh, my God, the savings of money is huge.
I agree. But you were a good Catholic boy, too. You shouldn't have been on birth control anyway. Got to poke the bear a little bit, Gigi.
Good. Keep doing that. Poking bears is good fun. If you're a fast runner.
You're a fast runner. Duck.
Or at least you're faster than the person you're with, right? That's all that matters.
That's true. Because the bear usually goes at the one behind.
All of your dental care in one convenient location without referring you all over town. If you feel safe at Barrett's Dental, it's the last place you'll need to visit to get the care you need. Is the condition of your mouth...
So you go back to New York, what do you do for fun now?
Well, it's all Mike's family. So we start, his dad's got a house on a lake, and so we start there, and he has jet skis and stuff, so we just relax and do all that. And then we go with his mom's family and drive up to Saratoga. It's like 3 hours away. And we just go to the track and hang out. We have a pinochle tournament. And yeah, I can play any of those games.
Are you from the North?
No, that's all Mike.
Okay, because I say people in North.
Yeah, that's where I pick
cards.
Yeah, they love it. They love it. So I know how to play them all. I just need an update. Spades, hearts, pinochle. I don't play bridge. But that's more of a Midwestern thing, I think. My grandma always played bridge.
Not on a farm, it was pinochle.
Yeah, I like pinochle. Pinocle's a fun game.
Yeah.
And they like to play pitch, which is like a quick, kind of down and dirty, fun game with just like the same kind of deck, I think. That pinochle deck with just the base cards and the high up cards.
Oh, okay. It's kind of funny. So all the farmers will go in, and that's what they do.
Yeah.
Is play pinochle and stuff.
Grandparents were both raised on farms outside of Milwaukee,
By a crick.
and they were bridge and spades and hearts and cribbage. They loved cribbage.
Canasta.
Oh, cribbage.
See, is canasta more of an East Coast thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cribbage is the best gambling game.
I love cribbage.
Oh, well, in the military they played it. That's probably where you
Mike and I used to play cribbage a lot when we were first dating.
Gamble?
We did.
A little bit. I mean,
I win
strip cribbage.
the pinochle tournament's like a $20 a head buy-in, so I've made a little money. I've won twice with my Aunt Nancy.
But Fridge, I think that's all your partner.
Forget it.
This is the Troubleshooter Show.
Help! I need somebody.
Now, Tom Martino, the Troubleshooter.
Help me if you can. I'm feeling down, and I do appreciate you being around. Help me get my feet back on the ground.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. This is the consumer show, the advocacy show, the get help show, the we want to hear your problem show, absolutely positively. All you have to do is call. Gigi Wink is with us from Wink & Wink Bankruptcy Attorneys, who also do debt settlements, and they also do advice on rebuilding credit after a bankruptcy. They represent you. And I think that one of the biggest problems, medical bills, has always been a big problem. I think another one is vehicles. Motor vehicles can get people into what's called upside down when they're younger. They get into this negative equity thing that grows and grows and grows, and you keep taking this negative equity. When you trade a car, it's built into the next deal, so that car even becomes more expensive, and this negative equity snowball just keeps getting bigger until finally you can't sustain it on the next car loan, and you're stuck with a giant loan and a piece of crap car. Some people are faced with bankruptcy then. Then you have students who are so in debt with student loans, and although they can't go bankrupt on student loans, they end up not being able to pay their other bills. There are so many reasons people get into trouble, but people are getting into trouble earlier in life, and it all starts with the misuse of credit. You see, I'm not one to say credit is bad. I think credit is a great tool. I think where it's bad is where we use leverage to buy and do things that we could normally not buy or do, and would not be able to, and in fact will never be able to pay it all off. Those who go out and shop with credit cards and only figure how much more it increases their monthly payment are in a deadly situation. It will get terrible. I knew a girl once who had several credit cards, and she would think, let's see, I want to go on that vacation with my girlfriends on the weekend, this long weekend, and it's going to cost about $3,000, and let's see, that's going to raise my payment about $6 a month. I can do that. That's all they were looking at. But if you extrapolate the minimum payments, it puts you in debt for 50 or 60 years. Is credit card debt number one, other than medical bills?
Well, I think
car debt, credit
the car debt is coming. It's a new crisis that we're seeing more of.
The
in
negative
the last
equity.
4 years, yeah. Because you were talking about negative equity at 21% interest for some of my clients. I mean, how do you get out from under that? And then if you miss the payments, your car gets repoed, you're going to have a deficiency, often in the, $10,000 to $20,000 range, and that's just impossible. So the car loans, the credit, overextension of credit is a real problem on the bank side. People bite. It's the way the world works in a lot of ways, and people don't understand, like you said, $6 a month. I will see people that I'm giving free consultations to who really don't, but it's not that bad, and
you've got $60,000 of unsecured credit card debt.
My God, that would keep you literally in debt till you're 99.
Yes, yes. So, you know, the education starts a little too late for a lot of people. You don't want to be learning how it all works when you're sitting in my office.
We have 2 bubbles coming due. One is the car thing, negative equity in cars. It's growing all over.
Subprime lending, big time.
And then the next big bubble, student loans.
Oh, $1 trillion bubble.
I don't know how people are going to deal with it.
They're 30% are in default of $1 trillion bubble.
$1 trillion, Mark, in debt. $1 trillion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not enough money to pay it off. No. Tina, what's going on with you? And we have a couple lines open. You can get right through 303-713-TALK. Scott, I have not forgotten about you, but Tina has a quick question for our guest, Gigi, and then I'm going to get right back to you, Scott, with this this problem, because it can go either way. Tina, go ahead.
Yes, hi. My question is, if you have a credit card debt that was charged off and then sold to a collection agency, and then in turn they have hired an attorney because it's like a large amount, maybe like $5,000 or so, is there ever a way to fight that in court and require that the collection agencies, do you require them to give you a signed contract to show that they owe that?
Yes, you can make them prove ownership of the debt.
Of course, you have to.
Title on the debt.
Because so many times there are people that aren't, they're not authorized.
Yep, so that's a defense that you could raise if you were sued.
If they refuse to give you documentation.
Yes, and so if you were sued, if you're served a summons in a situation like that and you believe you have a legitimate defense, yes, that's a defense you would bring legally in your answer to the court, and then you'd have to litigate it, which on a $5,000 debt that you know is your debt, I don't know. You know, you could spend $5,000 litigating if they fight you all the way.
Well, here's the deal, Tina. Any judge would chastise a collector if you have a chain of communication that you did, and it said that you want documentation and they refuse to give it to you. They would chastise them for it.
Yeah, they need to be able to prove they own the debt.
But I don't think there's a law requiring it.
No, but if you know... If you know it's yours.
Bill of sale that the bill of sale, like if they provide a bill of sale and then the original terms of the credit, the original creditor, it said that that account could be sold at any time. Is then if it was sold to the collections, is that a legitimate?
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. They don't even have to tell you they're going to sell it.
They're absolutely allowed to sell it.
And they don't have to tell you. A lot of people think there must be an assignability advance notice, and there doesn't have to be. They can sell it, and that's a legit transfer. In fact, they can sign it saying that we authorize you to collect. It doesn't have to be a sale. Let's go back to Scott. Let me just explain something. I understand totally Scott's premise. He dropped his car off for warranty work, and it was broken into. If someone, whether it be a valet service, whether it be a car dealership, a repair shop, if anyone does something to contribute to it or are negligent, yes, they have responsibility. But the mere fact that you have possession does not make you responsible. Now, this is not Tom Martino's opinion. This is what you call common law. Common law is law that has been decided by courts time and time and time again. They're called precedents. And, you know, frankly, I am shocked at how much common law conflicts with what people believe. You know, I often wonder, where do judges come from? Because judges often make rulings that people just don't understand or they don't agree with. Scott, one similar thing people don't agree with, for example, if someone breaks something of yours and it was in perfectly good condition and they can't find one like it and they have to get you a new one, many times you, as the victim, have to chip in for what's called betterment, because the person who damaged you is buying you something better than you had before, and you can actually be assessed a payment to make it equal, to make it equivalent to what you lost, that is one of the hardest concepts people have. Like, what, are you kidding me? My car was perfect. Well, they're not going to buy you a new car. They're going to, and if they do, you have to chip in for it. So here's the other one. You have a car that was at a dealership. I understand totally why you're concerned. Someone broke in. Well, I would say the same thing. I would look for a reason the dealer is responsible. First, was it an inside job? Was it an employee? Not just a suspicion, but was there evidence? Was it locked inside and it was broken into? Or was it left outside with the keys in it, with the window open? So, Scott, what do you think makes the dealer responsible other than just sheer possession?
Well, like I said, they had the keys, they had the truck. It was just out in the backyard. They admitted they have no cameras facing that area. The only camera they have is on a dealership next door.
Was the truck locked?
Yes.
Okay.
I made sure of it when I left it Monday night. They broke in through the back window.
Okay. And Scott, if you went fishing and this was at a friend's house in their driveway, would you, and you left your truck there, really, tell me the truth, would you want your friend to pay for it?
No.
Why?
Because I have possession of it then.
No, I'm saying you left it. No, I'm saying if you left it with your friend with the keys and said, I'm going fishing, can I leave my truck here? Yeah, leave the keys in case I have to move it, and you go fishing, would you hold your friend responsible if a crook broke into it?
No, because I know it's there for I'm going fishing. But I have no control over what the car lot does.
You're right. So if they did something negligent, they would owe you. They would absolutely owe you. And Scott, as I said, I mean, really, you're not gonna go anywhere with this argument. You can't hold them responsible unless you have something that makes them responsible. I mean, possession does not make someone responsible unless they contribute to it. I can't say it anymore.
Imagine if there was a hailstorm.
Okay, that's another thing.
That's an act of God.
Well, okay, that's an act of God.
But they have no control over it.
Right. He knows that. He says he wouldn't hold them responsible for that. But he's holding them responsible for a break-in, and you are in agreement with about 90% of the people because they all agree. But I have never ever seen anyone held responsible for possession alone. It just...
All right, now, let's look at it this way now.
Yeah.
How that the window's broken out, they still have possession of it. If it's left out in the yard...
They're responsible. They are. They absolutely... In fact, if the window's broken out and they don't mitigate the damage, yes, they're responsible. Or if they left... Okay, here's another way, Scott. If there were other break-ins there... If you
there were 17 of them.
Wait, 17 the same night?
17 in the same night.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying if they've had... It sounds to me like if there were 17 in the same night, then that must be a popular place. That's not going to help you the same night. What will help you is if you found out that a month earlier or a week earlier or 2 times before it happened. That would tell you that you feel they are negligent because they knew that there was a problem back there and did nothing to protect you. So did you check with police on the prior history? They will tell you.
The police finally showed up about 5:30 last night.
No, I'm telling you, I'm asking you, Scott.
I haven't gotten my...
Well, that's what you need to do. You need to find out if that has been, if any of those thefts, the police will readily tell you if any of those things have been done previously, like a week before, a month before, even, especially if it's been done before and they did not do anything to make the area more secure. But otherwise, we're just going in circles. And I hate to do that because I understand why you're making that argument. I would love to hear others' opinions, although judges seem to be from another planet. Because I will tell you, they will not grant you damages for mere possession of a vehicle, whatever happens to it, unless they contributed to it. And I'm hoping people understand, but give me a call, 303-713-TALK. 713-8255. Again, this is not something that I'm making up.
They really do.
From the L&L Heating and Air Conditioning Traffic Center.
Just getting word of a crash coming in on the southbound side of I-25 at Hamden. Watch out for rescue vehicles arriving on the scene. Crash at the top of the ramp there, westbound 6th Avenue at Federal. It's at the top of the Federal ramp there. Some minor slowing. Crash off Highway 8.
You're a lawyer, right?
Yeah. Construction traveling up in the high country.
Mike and I met in law school.
Between Highway 58 and Golden and
so as far as that,
for slowing on westbound
you agree that...
Yeah, and I mean, basically, like you said, judges say this. That's what it all comes down to. How has the law been interpreted by the Colorado courts? Because that's going to determine whether you win or lose every time. I mean, I get it. It's like, I don't know. Yeah, it sucks, but
and it does.
A lot of things suck.
Right. And then you can take it if you do
that.
Like
you got to insure yourself.
This is it.
You need to get the job done right.
Which one?
Only it ain't.
I'm not even going to tell you the plot, though. That feeling you can get, you say,
wow, that's a long title. That doesn't sound like that's...
Now, let me see which one. Let me see what book this is out of. This is out of...
Oh, that's...
Everything's Eventual.
That's the book. Everything's... Oh, okay.
You don't have to get it.
Like True Fitness, for over 36 years, manufacturing the best treadmill, ellipticals, and stationary bikes made. Rated the quietest and smoothest, True carries the best warranty in the industry. Like 10 years on all parts and 30 years on motors. And Tough Stuff Strength Equipment, which has been manufacturing for 46 years. All Tough Stuff Strength carries a lifetime warranty on all parts for the home. My non-commissioned sales team will help you
SD card,
for commercial
audio books, Stephen King. What is this one? Everything's Eventual. I got everything Stephen King ever did. Everything he ever did. Everything he ever did. What year is it?
Have you read them all?
Listen to them. When I'm road tripping, this is what I do.
How would you like to make up to $20,000 a month flipping houses with
no
don't
you
risk?
think you're,
Hi,
don't you
my
got to
name
be
is
totally
David
concentrated?
Tucci, and over the last 2
I'll start
years,
reading and my
team
mind
of
will drift and I
house
got to go back and read another
800
paragraph.
properties by using my 3-step flipping system that guarantees quick profits. And this year, we plan to double it. I'm growing my team in your area, and I'm looking for help. I have more cash available than deals right now, so I need you. All interested candidates, call now and take an inside peek of my flipping system. I'll rush you out a free copy of my flipping CD kit that will show you how easy it is to get in, get out, and get paid immediately flipping houses if you come join my team.
I just listened to his new one. It was 22 hours. I did not. He's getting a little bizarro, man.
And you also get free tickets to a live training workshop, plus a free meal and
Everything's
USB drive preloaded with mixed information.
You mean who's the voice talent?
It's not him, right?
No, I don't think usually. It's probably different for every book.
Well, some might consider this thought less than radical, because knee replacement is major surgery with all the problems and risks of bleeding, infections, and more. So, if you have pain caused by an arthritic knee and you want to take surgery, you're not alone.
Geez, I have to chip away here. I just realized.
Arthritis is finding the correct treatment sooner rather than later.
You see, I wonder what number it is actually say. I can't believe I found it, man. That is the weirdest freaking title ever. What did you find, Mark? This short story by Stephen King that's just always stuck with me. What's it called? That feeling, you can only say what it is in French.
Goodbye to their knee arthritis pain at the Osteo Relief Institute.
That's the name of the story.
That's a crazy name.
What brought that to mind? When I mentioned abortion,
it's about someone in purgatory for having an abortion.
See, and I hate even that I said that, because when you listen to the
story,
story,
now it's ruined.
You have no idea what the hell's going on until the end. How did you come across this story? Everything Stephen King's ever done, I've read everything. Everything. Since 1972.
Have you read Michael Craven? That guy is amazing.
He was really smart.
Oh, man. My one group who super regret is never going to listen to him speak.
Oh, yeah, I bet he was good.
I think he died at...
I don't read a lot of fiction.
Oh, Michael Craven?
He was good.
So he did...
Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
Congo. What? So many.
Nobody does. And I also know Stephen King. I've never read Stephen King ever.
But this guy researched.
I can tell. if you showed me different things, even something Stephen King never published what was out there, I guarantee I could tell it was him.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. People, let me know what you think about it. You leave a car off and it's broken into.
What do you think? A hailstorm comes. What do you think? Well, this guy was reasonable. He was reasonable. Scott said, it's an act of God. I understand a hailstorm, they're not responsible for, but yet they could be. If they promised you they'd keep it inside and they didn't, that would be a breach. So it's always interesting to talk about property. Let's talk to Mark now as a bankruptcy question. We have Gigi Wink with us from Wink and Wink. Go ahead, Mark.
Hey, how you guys doing today?
Good, man. What's happening?
Okay, I got a kind of a trick question here. In a divorce, I signed a quick claim on the house, but she never got the house refied, so I got everybody and their brother, bugging me now about the house. And
was it required as part of the divorce settlement that it be refied?
The wording was, there wasn't those wording, but it was I signed a quick claim because she wanted the house.
I understand that, but if it wasn't required by the divorce decree, then you got a problem.
You got a problem even if it was, because you made a contract with a mortgage lender independent of your divorce.
No, but what I meant was, if it was in the divorce decree that she refi, listen, even though the lender can still come after him, he can go after her based on the divorce decree.
He could almost, in some circumstances, force her to sell it if it was in the decree.
Right. You got to go back to family.
But what I'm saying is, what Gigi is saying is right. A lot of people mistake private agreements, which a divorce decree is, they mistake it for law. They think when a divorce judge says you're no longer have the house, it's your wife's, that the creditor must abide by it, and the creditor does not have to abide by it.
That's right. But you would have a case against her. You could take her back to family court for contempt or look for the judge to make new orders regarding the property.
So right now, it's a problem, Mark, but it's a problem that isn't going to go away because you are still responsible.
Well, but see, I am looking at my divorce decree, and it does say that she was required to refi the house when I signed the claim, Tom.
Then you have a claim against her, but it does not insulate you from the creditor coming after you.
No, but you can force her to sell that house if she can't refi.
It's probably going to be foreclosed on the way he's talking. But I mean, Mark, is there equity in the home?
Right now, the house is worth more than it was when we divorced. So I know there's equity.
If there's equity, you can do one step further. If there's equity and she's in contempt because she did not do it, you can probably get the house if you want it. And if you don't want it, as Mark said, you can force her to sell it. I mean, there's a number of things you can do. What you can't do is get out from under that creditor coming after you.
No, but he could possibly sue her for damages and take that equity.
Well, yeah, he can, but that's all he can do. He's not going to get away with that lender.
You know, Bonnie Shields deals with this every day.
Now, Mark, you understand that lender is not doing anything wrong?
Well, I understand, but I was under the impression, Tom, that when you do this, it's like, okay, I get it, my divorce is done. Okay, have a nice day, Mark, and now she's going to take the house.
Right.
That's right. I was off the hook because I did what she wanted.
But
she screwed you again.
Yeah, but you're not off the hook, Mark. That's unfortunate. You know what? There ought to be, I swear to you, there ought to be people, and divorce attorneys should tell their clients, now listen, you're still on this mortgage.
And what are judges doing requiring, you can't make a bank refinance a mortgage.
Right.
Right? And so it's just unrealistic in most of these situations. A lot of these people have debt as part of the divorce. They don't qualify for a refi.
What they should do...
Make them sell the house.
That's right. They should make them sell it.
But right now, Mark, tell me what situation you're in right now.
Well, I got... the banks are coming after me for the house.
Well, how many months behind is she?
I think she's a year behind.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Away, so that's what I've been told, that she kind of just let it go. And the worst part about it is her old man's an attorney. So you know what I'm up against, Tom. I'm up Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what happened. Her old man told her not to pay, and that she would not be liable. That whose name is the house in?
When we bought it, it was under both our names.
Who's the loan under?
The loan right now?
Yeah.
Both of us when we bought the house.
Okay.
Years ago.
So you're both still on it then.
Yep.
Right, but I was, like I said, Tom.
I know, Mark. It doesn't matter. I understand what you said. You said it 3 times, that you thought you were off the hook, but you weren't. It doesn't matter what you thought. It's so unfair, but it's true. Creditors do not follow divorce decrees. They don't.
They're not
They don't
bound.
have to. They're not bound by it.
And why would they?
And it is one of the, I swear to you, Mark, you're not the only one. It's one of the biggest misunderstandings we come up against.
Yep.
I'll bet you have bankruptcies because of it.
All the time.
Because people did not realize they were liable.
That's right. Or that refi never could happen because the person
And
didn't
unfortunately, now Mark's credit is ruined.
My credit's totally shot.
Yeah. So listen, man, you got to deal with it. So what are you going to do? If the house doesn't have enough equity for you to sell it and be made whole, then you need... Are they still living in it?
She's been living in the house since the divorce, and then the other part, I'm going to say there's 2 parts. Is she went out and got credit while we were separated because I got Bank of America crawling up me also.
No. They can't crawl up you about new stuff. Never.
Yeah.
Never, ever. Nope.
Did she put your name on it?
Well, she was under the married name when we were separated.
It doesn't matter. You're not held liable for one dime, none, except what you had before the marriage.
Okay.
Now be careful, sleazy creditors. We have that family purpose doctrine.
Yeah, they're going to say she was your wife. You're responsible. You're not.
Do not ignore a summons. If you get a summons on something like that, you do not ignore it.
Mark, you may need a bankruptcy. I hate to tell you this.
I got to talk to somebody, Tom.
Well,
it's like
you may have to. And you know what? Here's what's great about that. You put all that debt in there, and it's totally wiped out.
Yep.
Now listen, this is exactly what bankruptcy was made for people facing injustice. That's what it's made for. Okay? It's not made for some guy. It's not made for some guy who wants to get a credit card and in his mind he's saying, I'm going to screw everybody. Listen, here's what you do. You call Gigi or Mike when they're off the air, 303-410-1720. Suzanne, give him the number off the air, 303-410-1720. And by the way, speaking of attorneys I hope you never need, Joe Lazara is another one. Joe is a criminal defense attorney. Now, I'm not recommending that you're in trouble criminally, but if you ever get in trouble for a DUI or smoking and driving, you're an idiot. Because you shouldn't have to. You should always have a personal attorney, a designated driver. But here's the thing. Joe will never call you an idiot. Joe will just take care of you. What I mean by that, and I mean that affectionately, there is no reason to get popped for this. You can avoid them. But even the best of you get tickets like this. Call Joe, 303-429-6200. Guilty or innocent, you need help through the system. Joe Lazara, 303-429-6200. Hello, I'm Tom Martino with President from Ideal Home Loans, Brent Ivinson, and we have some great news. Brent, so many people have a loan. They paid it down.
Oh, Bachman. So that's the pen name, right? Thinner. He wrote Thinner.
Great.
Lower payments while still paying your house.
And
damn gypsies always screwing that.
Screw me again.
Wait,
Thinner
is what? Is that Stephen King?
Walk.
The guy that's losing weight.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was. I didn't read it. I saw it. I didn't read it. It was a short. It wasn't a movie. It was a little episode.
I saw it too.
Well, there was then Bachman, which was Stephen King's pen name, his alter ego. He also did So Thinner was Stephen King as Richard Bachman.
Wait a minute. He actually used another name.
Yeah.
I know.
You know who else does? The Harry Potter lady.
Wait, when did he use it? When did he use it?
In the 80s. Let me tell you.
Why did he?
I think he wanted to see if he could still make money, if he could get
Oh my God,
bestsellers
that is wonderful.
without people knowing it was him.
Do you know, I said this before, and these guys heard it.
Yeah.
But do you know that Shakespeare, they say, of course, that wasn't his real name. Do you know who they surmise it really was?
Is it a woman?
No, but you ought to Google it.
Okay, I feel like I've heard different theories, and I don't know.
Yes, that's right.
Thinner was 1984. Let's see. And then he also wrote The Long Walk. That was a good one. The Running Man. That they made that movie with Richard Dawson from Family Feud and Arnold.
I think a series of the Running Man?
They didn't. I think it was just a big movie. And then The Long Walk was like a walk where if you stopped walking, they'd kill you. Yeah, it was good. That was a good one. And then Rage was like about a school shooter. He wrote 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books from 1977 to 2007. I gotta look up the Shakespeare.
So many people have read that and stuff. I wonder if
So you know who else did it? And then it was, so J.K. Rowling, the Harry Potter author, she started writing crime novels.
Baconian theory.
B-A-C?
O-N-I-A. The Baconian theory.
Which is what? I guess.
Was Sir Francis Bacon.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
What?
And it's a big, it's in Wikipedia, the Baconian theory of Shakespeare authorship.
Oh, how interesting is that?
Dr. Barrett's with Barrett's Dental.
Sir Roger Bacon.
So J.K. Rowling wrote a book, and it got very good reviews. I've read them all; they're great. It's a crime novel about a detective.
Is this before she got famous?
After. So she wanted to do the same thing.
Who was Sir Francis Bacon?
He was a philosopher, essayist, and scientist.
There's that liberal arts degree coming.
That's it, man. You could be Shakespeare. Nobody will ever know. See how it all works? No one understands.
I think Donald Trump penned most of these books.
So you know what happened to J.K. Rowling? The wife of her editor spilled the beans, like socially, and then it got out, and so then the media got it, and everyone knew before she could really get it off the ground. She keeps writing them, but...
In the 50s, there were a couple guys that got together, they were newspaper reporters, and they said they were going to write juicy romance novels, and they pretended they were this woman writing from her own personal experience, and it shocked the world when it was revealed that this woman was really a
3 guys.
And I got out of housing stuff. Pending home sales tumble.
Where?
Supply crisis worsens across the United States.
You're not here.
Well, that's the supply crisis.
Fewer buyers sign contracts to buy existing homes in May.
Really?
Likely because they can't find or afford what
That's it. Well, they're buying them with family members. You have to like go in with other people now.
We're going to have a bubble.
Oh, we're already.
That's when I pull out of the stock market and start buying property.
And it's like, wink and wink. You have qualified for a $300,000.
Trump bought up most of New York when that freaking shit
Here
went
we go again.
But at least it's better than
if you have the cash.
Oh,
you hit it.
yeah. It is big.
We already have our
right
$1 billion.
I tell these guys, I don't know.
We have to
go.
And it's not being done.
No, Mark. I mean, how many times has that happened?
Yeah, we're getting there, and it's going to be way quicker than most people think.
But like I say, Denver's a lot different, just like California. Mark was looking at houses in Cleveland. Shit, you can buy a mansion for $700,000.
No, we're like Seattle. We're like right with Seattle right now.
Ohio, I pulled up a house. It wasn't a house, it was an estate if you want to live there. 16,000 square feet. Inside was all brick archways.
Beautiful.
Oh my God! It was $799,000.
Did they have a mother-in-law house?
Hi, I'm Tom Martino. You're a troubleshooter. 303-713
Talk 713-8255. We got a lot to talk about here. Tim, you have a comment on the Sleaze Brigade and Eric Laxon. What's going on, sir?
This is Tim Hannon. Can you hear me?
Yes, Tim. What's happening?
So, is there a way to get somebody's driver's license number?
I have it.
What do you mean? We are. It's on the Sleaze Brigade. His license.
So if you can get his driver's license number, you can actually call like Home Depot. You can report it to them. They'll put it into their database.
Report what to them?
So we can't pull that again at Home Depot.
Oh, that's why. Because they ask for your license. I wondered why they do that, Tim. They ask for your license when you do returns.
And so he'll never be able to do another return nationally.
This woman actually allowed him to use the card.
Yeah, but she didn't allow him to return the stuff.
No, and he returned it for credit. I love what this guy's saying.
Yeah.
We need to reach out to him.
Well, she has to report it. She's the victim, right, Tim?
No, it doesn't matter, because essentially what happens is you call them, you tell this guy's fraudulent, he's ripping off multiple people, not just one, and then you give his driver's license number and you give his name, and that goes against any time he does, even if he wants to get credit.
But that almost seems unfair that anyone can just call, and report someone.
Yeah, but how easy is it to get somebody's driver's license number unless you have it?
Oh, you're right. Oh, you're right. But I like the idea because we wouldn't misuse it, Tim. Tim, how do you know this?
I work for customer service in a major retailer.
Well, thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. Bill, what's happening with you, sir?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm curious if I'm looking to adopt my stepson and his biological father is currently incarcerated. I'm curious what legal battles I have.
It's the same. It's the same.
Okay, they don't view that any differently. So
well, it depends. I mean, in other words, if his parental rights were terminated, yes.
Okay.
But if they're not terminated, the mere fact that he's incarcerated does not take away parental rights.
Well, if he's on death row, it's probably going to be a little easier to get done.
No, what I mean is it's going to be easier maybe if he doesn't fight it.
Call Bonnie Shields. She does these all the time. Why does her name keep coming up? But Gigi, you're in studio.
Hey, Bill.
Yeah.
Do you?
Because she's awesome. But so am I.
Yeah. Hey, Bill. Do you have what crime is it? The information.
The first one was theft, and then he violated his parole with illegal possession of a firearm and narcotics.
Do you think he will fight it?
I believe that he will. Kind of what I gather from his parents inside of the family.
How old is the child?
He's 5 currently.
You know, first of all, it's not your battle, okay? People don't come up and say, I want to adopt the kid, so I'm terminating your rights. It's up to the mom, the mom to try to get his rights terminated, saying he's dangerous, he's no good. It's for the child's best interest. That's all they care about. They don't care about your desire at all. Then after rights are terminated, you keep them completely separate. After rights are terminated, then and only then you come in and adopt him, and then there's no fight whatsoever.
Okay, fair enough.
So that's the first thing. So get her to do that, and she should not have a hard time, especially if he's in prison, he's a bad dude, he's convicted, and yeah, they'll terminate rights, but there have to be, they have to have reasons, and it's up to the mom to do that. So that's the step. Mom does it, then you adopt. Carrie, is this the problem I heard about already one time? Did I hear about this from someone?
This is very new to me, Tom.
Wait, somebody must have told me about this because it sounds familiar, and I'm sure we must have talked. It's about U-Haul pods. They weren't U-Haul at the time, and U-Haul bought the company, but a bunch of pods showed up missing. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, we heard this before.
Did you call me before? Or is this it could be yet another victim? Carrie?
No, I haven't never called you.
Okay,
ever.
Carrie, then you're another victim. Suzanne, we had another call on this. Here's what happened. You hired the pod company, or you rented a pod, and then they put it in their yard. They went bankrupt or something, or they went out of business. U-Haul took them over, and a bunch of pods showed up missing.
She had 4.
I know showed up missing sounds weird.
This must have come in when we were on vacation, Tom, huh?
Yes,
because I don't remember this at all.
And you know what? This is terrible because U-Haul has no record of these pods.
Nor is it honestly their fault from what I know about it. Daphne filled me in a little.
They just bought the company, and the records, I understand, are in shambles. Now, Carrie, what was the name of the company originally that you rented a pod from?
I went through a U-Haul dealer, and
wait a minute.
U-Haul pods.
It was a U-Haul pod at the time?
Yes, it was a U-Haul pod, 4 of them. I packed them in Colorado Springs. They're supposed to go to Illinois.
Well, this might be different then. So this is not about a company that was sold.
I don't know, but they were stolen out of a lot in Commerce City, and the Commerce City police are the only people helping me. But U-Haul never made a police report. The only report that has been made was on the trailer was stolen.
Now,
the guy who owns the trailer made the report.
Now,
homeowners.
This is weird. Do you have homeowner's insurance?
I sold my house like a month before all of this.
And was it well? Did you terminate the policy at the time?
Yes, because I didn't own the house no more.
But did you actually terminate the policy?
I did.
Okay. So, we got a problem here. Now, you remember what we said to that guy about mere possession doesn't make liability? There is an exception to that when there's storage involved, because you are literally creating what's called a bailment agreement, where you are literally storing it. It's a different ball game than just dropping it off for repairs. You're storing it, and you're relying on them to store it securely. So they may have more responsibility than in the situation where it's simply dropped off or kept somewhere while it's being worked on. So, Carrie, what does U-Haul say they're going to do?
They left that the entire contents was stolen on a voicemail and told me that their third-party claims person would contact me, and that person sent me an email within 30 minutes of his voicemail, and that's what's happened with the U-Haul end of it.
Did U-Haul, on the voicemail, what did they say?
They just said your entire contents, the trailer that held your 4 pods was stolen. That's what they said, and they wrote it in an email then afterwards, which I have too.
Did they say they were going to take care of it?
No, they just said my job was, you know, a claims person, a third-party claims person will be following up.
All right,
with
why don't you hold on then? Just hold on, and we'll try to get you some help or figure this one out. Flexident. Right now, Flexident is busy, but you should wait for them because they can get to you. They don't have a long wait, but they are busy because they are the preferred way to fix your car, paintless dent repair. Nick is the owner. We know him well. He has 40 years experience. All of his techs are master certified or certified, and they can do door dings, dents, hail damage of all kinds. In fact, take it there first. After you get your adjuster, take it there first and find out what they can do. Some of it may have to go to a body shop only if the paint is damaged, but they can probably do all of the work, and the downtime is minimized. In most of the cases, they can do all of it because paint is seldom involved. FlexidentColorado.com, 303-619-6273.
Absolutely amazing.
Use slow spots in the highway drive in the metro area. Westbound I-76.
Just hit it for the pictures, quick out.
Clogging up the drive.
First of all, finish 15,000 square feet, 6 bathrooms. Just go through this thing. Keep going though. It gets better. Look at the inside stonework.
Oh my God. Where is this? It's beautiful.
It's absolutely stunning. But wait till you get to the outbuildings and homes. The woodwork, it's all hand carved. Look at that.
Oh my God. There's got to be something wrong. Oh my God.
Well, what's wrong is it's in Cleveland.
Wainscoting and everything. Oh my God.
Mark found somewhere on the lake, and they were cheap.
It's unbelievable. Now there's
more than stunning. This is, oh no.
There's ponds. Look at the grounds. Greenhouse. Keep going. The mother-in-law house is coming.
A whole house. How much?
$7.99. Hit close. Look at this
This
thing.
isn't possible.
Scroll down. No, man, it's been up.
Okay, where is it?
It's in fucking Cleveland. Cleveland is the worst place to live in the United States if you Google it.
Oh my
Is it
God.
really?
Do you know what this costs to build?
Oh shit, I can't even tell you. And you know it's been redone. Look at the bill here, 20.
6 bathrooms, 6 bedrooms,
all new appliances.
It is so beautiful.
It's gorgeous, isn't it?
This would be a $15 million house.
In Cherry Creek.
Nothing is more important than
Anywhere in Colorado. Oh my God.
I know. I mean, you couldn't build this for even close to what it's selling for. It'd be a great vacation house, but no one vacations in Cleveland. You'll get mugged getting off the plane.
No, where in Cleveland? Is it in the city?
It says, I don't know. It's one of the, well, it's a beautiful neighborhood.
Or Highlands Ranch at University and Seaforth.
You know what? Oh my God.
Outside of since 1997.
I love the way Stem Cell Institute does business. Stem Cell Institute.
You're right, though. That's a $15 million house in Colorado.
Unless you're conformed.
That's why they're doing free
it's so crazy.
It's a sprawling mansion.
And no pressure. They have them at
and it's all stone.
Inside,
some of the things are all brick and stone.
Oh my God!
Italian Renaissance. Yep, look at that.
Well, anyone who has a joint problem, because it can put off surgery in many cases.
All steel superstructure combined with a granite facade.
I
So
wish
if you're interested in
it was a nicer place to live.
You're going to want to attend one of these.
You're right.
It's so horrible.
It has to be the deal that how do you find that?
The maintenance on the place.
I was searching lake homes, and somehow I was thinking, okay, where's the cheapest nice lake home? And up came cheapest places to live. Up came Ohio, so I just searched. And that's not the only one. That's the craziest one. The shit you can get there for like 1.4, forget about it. Your electric bill is probably going to be more.
This Saturday at noon on 6 to
And Cleveland's the third worst place in the U.S.
Depending on which list.
Based on crime or what?
There's a lot of places in New York that are horrible too. Just depressed.
Detroit is number 2.
What's number 1? I bet New York or Georgia.
helping people for years.
Camden, New Jersey.
You know where that's at?
I used to buy dime bags out here when I was in high school. That's where we got our marijuana. We're lucky we lived. Camden's so bad till this day. It was so corrupt. It was the cocaine capital of the world. It was so corrupt the state police took it over, and I think they still run it. The mayor, everybody got tossed out. Local police shut down.
California's got 4 places, like Oakland, Stockton, Modesto.
Where they kicked the cops out?
No, where they, in the top 12 worst places.
There's a lot of little places in New York, though, like we were talking about. Albany is depressed as hell. It's not in the top 10, but it's right there.
Plus, it's very dreary.
And that's well, no, hell
There's
no. That's
some nice
beautiful.
things about Albany, yeah.
No,
It
but
is
isn't it
beautiful.
cloudy a lot?
Well, upstate New York is cloudy. Well, Mike always says there's a New York State-shaped cloud over New York.
No.
Only some
I would
places
say,
in Pennsylvania.
and I would say it depends on the season.
Right.
I mean,
It does depend on the season.
Upstate New York is
The winters are brutal.
yeah, they're brutal.
The winters are brutal. The summers are hot,
You
but
get
they're nice summers.
You get up around
They're
it.
really nice summer, springs, and falls.
Oh, yeah.
Terrible
And then winter, woo.
They have a terrible winter, but you know,
And if you're up close to the border of Canada, up by the falls,
Well, that's where Mike
shit.
went to college.
It's
upstate
freezing.
New York is one of the most
Potsdam.
beautiful areas in the country.
It is
People
gorgeous.
do not understand it.
It's true.
No, because I think of the city.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Yes, Gigi Wink is with us from Wink and Wink. We are talking about anything you want, and then she can talk about credit and finance and bankruptcy. Let's go to the phones. Jessica, what's happening? Jessica.
Yes.
What's going on?
Well, I was taken advantage of by a company, a roofing company.
By the way, Suzanne, on the carry thing, what I wanted to do is I wanted to contact the U-Haul directly. I forgot to tell you. I'm sorry. We were talking during the break. I'm going to come right back to you, though, Carrie. Don't go away. All right, Jesse, go ahead.
Yes, so I-25 Roofing and Restoration came to replace the roof on my house.
How did you find him?
A friend of mine told me that he knew of a roofer and gave me the phone number.
I-25 Roofing Restoration. Come to find out what?
That he ran into the guy at Home Depot, and so that's how he knew him.
Okay.
Right?
So what happened here? What went wrong?
Well, everything.
Uh-oh.
It's the worst nightmare.
Like what?
He attempted to do the roof, and I happened to be leaving the country, and so he asked me if I could open up my house so that they could use the restroom and so forth, and I said sure. He said, can he store his tools in my basement? I said sure. And so he did the job, texted me while I was in Mexico, said, I emailed you a form, I need you to sign that the work has been done, and I said, well, I'll be back. I'll look over the home.
And this is all when you were gone?
Yes.
Okay, so let's speed it up. What happened when you got back?
When I got back, I went to the house, and the work hadn't really been done.
Wait, he said the work was done, and he didn't even start it?
No, he had done a lot of work, but apparently ran out of money.
Okay. So where does it stand right now? Where does it stand right now?
I filed a small claims court suit on him.
Did he walk away from the job, or is he refusing to finish?
He said it's completed.
Oh, so in his mind, this job is completed.
Correct. And the insurance company said that the job was only 1% complete.
1%? What? No. Is this guy a moron? Does he really believe he can fool people? Like, for example, did he lay down new shingles?
He did put new shingles on the roof.
How many? Literally, how many?
He covered the roof with shingles, but he didn't put decking on the entire house. So
they're saying they got to redo it.
Are they saying it has to be redone?
Yes.
Okay, hold on a sec. How much did you pay this guy?
I paid the deductible for the insurance claim of $2,400.
That's all you paid?
That's what I paid.
What did the insurance company pay out?
But the insurance didn't pay, did they?
The insurance paid close to $5,000 initial payment to him.
Well, you're screwed on that. You'll never get that again.
Is that all they paid him, though?
Correct, because I stopped the last payment.
Okay, good. How much insurance money do you have left?
I have $10,800 left to be used for the roof.
Well,
what area you in?
In Globeville.
In where?
In Globeville, Denver.
Okay, now.
Globeville.
Right, up near the stock show place up there?
Yes,
yeah.
Correct.
Now.
But that's not all he did.
What?
He allowed, I had renters in there in the house, and I had evicted them, so he knew that. So he asked what I was doing with the belongings that they left. I said I was dumping it, and I was remodeling my kitchen and bathroom, and he allowed his workers, he told his workers I was demoing the house, so he allowed his workers to go in and take all the fixtures, the plumbing.
Oh my God! Hold on! Wait! This is, you got to call the police.
Is this Vincent Torres?
Yes.
Jessica, do you realize this is theft, right? Did you report him to the police?
I didn't. I called him.
No. This is a crime, Jessica. Don't fool around. You had him. You hired him to do the roof, and they tore your house apart.
Yes.
Well, Jessica, call the police right now. Right now.
Jessica, if I go over there and get video, I mean, the stuff's just ripped out of the walls? Stuff missing?
Well, no, I started fixing it because this is my income.
When did this happen, Jessica?
So it started back in February.
Okay, how much of it is fixed? I can't believe you didn't call the police. Did it ever occur to you this was a crime?
Well, I figured since I opened my door that it was my fault.
No, it's not your fault. You opened the door so he could store his stuff, not so he could steal stuff.
If I have Tom over for dinner, it doesn't mean he can take my TV.
Okay, Jessica, I'm very upset. I'm very upset about this. What does this guy say about it? How does he justify it?
He said for me to sign the paper so that he could get the rest of the money from the insurance company, and he'd give me $1,500.
Wait.
As a set-off.
How does he feel about all the stuff that's missing? How does he feel about that?
He said that he would replace it.
All of it?
That's what he said.
All right, we got to call this count. Hold on, and then we got to get back to Carrie. We got so many victims today, folks. We got a lot of work to do. God, the job just gets harder and harder. I feel so badly for these people. Stick around. We also have Wink and Wink on board. We got a lot to do. When it comes to servicing your home, let's go right to the heart of the matter. Alaramas.
I'm going to go to the back bar, actually.
What did you want us to say to U-Haul or ask U-Haul?
Like, why are they not taking responsibility? And it sounds like they might be, though. Well, we don't know that. They didn't do anything. I mean, if they have storage pods, they can't let people steal storage pods.
No, that's different from just parking in a parking lot.
That's exactly right.
Pro or 303proauto.com.
I'm Tom Martino for Ideal Home Loans. They have the rate guarantee. If rates go down, they will refinance you free of charge. 303-867-7000. Check out their pre-approval. It's like a cash offer. Already approved. Not pre-qualified, approved. All you need is the appraisal. 303-867-7000. 867-7000. Equal Opportunity Lender, regulated by DORA. NMLS 136756. For terms and conditions, call 844-45-IDEAL.
This is Denver's talk station. More with Martino after the news on 630 KHOW and iHeartRadio station. KHOW, Denver.
NBC News Radio. I'm Lisa Carter. He's still optimistic. President Trump thinks a great health care plan will come out of the Republican-led Congress. In a White House photo op, Trump again slammed Obamacare.
It's been a headache for everybody. It's been a nightmare for many. And we are looking at a health care that would be a fantastic tribute to our country.
Senate Republican leaders pulled the bill after realizing the votes weren't there to advance it. They're now hoping to bring a health care bill up for a vote after the July 4th recess. The delay gives Majority Leader Mitch McConnell more time to work behind the scenes to secure enough votes for passage. The Senate is now focusing on Russia's interference in European elections. In a hearing today, Senate Intelligence Committee Chairman Richard Burr said Russia wants to disrupt democratic elections around the world. The intelligence panel has been investigating Russia's interference in the American presidential election, but is expanding its scope. The New York Knicks cutting ties with team president Phil Jackson.
MSG Chair Jim Dolan and Phil Jackson releasing statements that they've mutually agreed to part ways. It all happening as Jackson reportedly battled with team stars Carmelo Anthony and Kristaps Porzingis, debating one, if not both, of their futures with the team. Dolan calling Jackson one of the most celebrated and successful individuals in the history of the NBA. Jackson, whose own NBA career launched with the Knicks, says the team will always hold a special place in his heart, but was deeply disappointed he wasn't able to bring another NBA championship to the Garden. The team's general manager, Steve Mills, will run the day-to-day during upcoming free agency. Jennifer Bolsoni, NBC News Radio, New York.
George Lucas tells autograph seekers to get a job. The father of Star Wars is striking back after souvenir hunters sought out his autograph yesterday in Beverly Hills. TMZ reports Lucas basically called autograph seekers at an event mercenaries, not true fans, and only out to collect his signature for a quick $200. You're listening to the latest from NBC News Radio.
This report is brought to you by Mattress Firm.
Mostly sunny today with a high of 88. Tonight partly cloudy and a low of 57. Tomorrow sunny and a high of 83. Friday mostly sunny and cooler with a high of 78.
It's Mattress Firm's 4th of July sale, and they're celebrating with daily deals. Get a new and amazing deal every day, like a free pillow, 50% off mattresses and more. Plus, get 0% APR for 6 years. Only at Mattress.
You're busy.
I'm Cody.
My brother died last week.
I'm sorry.
No, thanks. He's my half-brother, and he was really sick for a long time. In fact, I remember about 7 months ago, I was here getting calls from the ICU surgeons, like, you know, he's not going to make it, and then he made it. So I'm just dealing with all of that. We've got to go back to Milwaukee. He has nobody. I'm like 10 years younger. We had the same dad, not the same mom. He had like congestive heart failure and all this pulmonary stuff forever. I mean, he just didn't take care of himself. He never went to the doctor. He smoked for 40 years.
This one gets better. Wait till you hear this one.
That's like people calling me, but thank God for the internet.
Are you okay? I heard you talking that your brother passed.
My brother passed. He was really sick. He was 57.
Oh, man.
He's my half-brother, same dad.
You mentioned it to me.
Yes. He was a big partier and a smoker with childhood asthma. I feel bad because I like him.
And I do appreciate you being around.
Hello, it's Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, your consumer advocate, helping you solve problems. We're answering questions. We're taking complaints. Listen, folks, we have problems you will not believe. Jessica did not tell us all of it, but here's the story in a nutshell. You're not going to believe this. By the way, if you're new to town, tell a friend. This show is the only show of its kind anywhere. We solve problems. We help people. We sometimes can't. Jessica had a roofer come to her home. She left the country, and while she was out of the country, she allowed this roofer access to the house to store tools. But what happened is unbelievable. Not only did he do a shoddy job on the roof, and incomplete job on the roof, he also allowed people to come in and strip the home of fixtures, plumbing, and all kinds of hardware. And in addition to that, there was someone living in the home, and this roofer was collecting rent. Oh my God, you can't write this stuff.
It's like a horrible book. It's a Stephen King novel.
Jessica, am I hearing this right? This guy was charging rent?
Yes.
He's charging rent. They're stripping the house. He did a shoddy job on the roof, and you never thought to call law enforcement.
I was trying to take care of it with him, and
Jessica,
I'm ready to hear about a meth ring in a prostitution ring.
Jessica, we got to go after this guy. What's this guy's name? His name is
Vincent Torres. I filed a small claims suit against him.
Small claims won't touch it, Jessica.
This guy needs to go to jail.
Jessica, small claim. What's his name, Marcus? Seriously, this guy's this is Sleeves Brigade.
It is Vincent Paul Torres, Torres.
Torres?
And it's I-25 Roofing and Restoration. Vincent Paul Torres. Now, the phone number I got... No, I don't have one. You're going to have to give us one. I got his address. He lives in Brighton, apparently, or the company.
Right, the company...
We got to get a photograph. We got to get this...
I'm meeting her out there at 2:30. We already are under.
We got to get him on the Sleeves Brigade. We got to do this. Jessica, we got to go after this guy, and we got to talk to the district attorney. I mean, unfortunately, it's Denver, and the Denver office doesn't do anything.
Yeah, but let's cross our fingers. This is crazy.
Well, the thing is, I just got an answer stating that it's now going to district court. Because now I think he's countersuing me. I'm not sure.
We got to help him.
Oh, because she wants small claims. Don't even worry about this. The guy's a fraud. He's going to go to jail.
In other words, he is countersuing you. Does he have an attorney on that lawsuit?
Yes.
Who is the attorney? We ought to contact the attorney. This would be wonderful.
Let me give you the attorney's name.
Yeah.
The attorney is Westerfield and Martin, LLC.
Westerfield and Martin?
Yes.
Okay, Mark, we have to help this woman. Now, Jessica, you need an attorney.
Who is it? Westerfield, Martin, and...
Westerfield and Martin.
It says Westerfield and Martin on the letter that they sent me.
And what did they say in the letter?
It was just a court document stating that they were asking it to be moved to district court.
They still have to do relaxed rules of evidence, but you need... Listen, Jessica...
I have all the pictures from when I first went in there, all the debris in the attic, everything.
God, this is criminal.
Jessica... God. You know, I don't want this guy doing some fancy legal footwork and getting away with anything. I would contact authorities immediately. You have to call authorities. This is a crime. I mean, yeah, you can move forward with the civil suit, but you have to report this as a crime.
You need to call the police.
He was equity skimming. You have to call a white-collar crime division. This is way, way more.
White-collar? He stripped her house.
Okay, whatever. I mean, he was equity skimming. He was stripping her house of goods. You never gave permission for this, Jessica. People can't just take advantage of you. Listen, is there someone at the Denver District Attorney's Office that would look into this, or do we go to the police? I don't even know if the police are equipped to handle this.
Oh, my God. They have to be. If someone walks into your house and steals all your fixtures...
Jessica, do me a favor. Would you call the Denver police and tell them you need to talk to a detective about a crime like this? You know, don't say things like this, well, I gave him permission to do anything. All you said was he was going to do the roof, and you gave him permission to store tools. That's it. You didn't give him permission to do anything else. See, police look for reasons not to take cases when it comes to this, okay? You can't give them a reason not to take this. You hired a roofer. You gave them access to your house to store tools. They stripped your home, and he rented it out.
That's right.
This is a crime. You got to get this guy.
Call the cops. I'm going to see you at 2:30, all right?
Yeah, yeah, we got to... This is unbelievable.
She was so duped. I don't understand why she's not more
upset. What's this guy's phone number, this Vincent Paul? Did we
Get it
call
from
him?
her.
I want to call him, Suzanne. Let's call Vincent Paul Torres and ask him what the hell is on his mind. And she's got photographs. We need to get photographs of all the stuff, how he left her home. Meanwhile, did we call U-Haul for this woman?
She hung up, and we have not yet.
Who hung up?
The woman from U-Haul.
The caller did.
Oh, I asked to call U-Haul. I mean, did she know we were calling for her? Did you get her information?
Yes, I told her to hold a minute because we just have a ton going on back here.
All right. Well, lady, if you want to call back, U-Haul pods were robbed. A lot of U-Haul's pods are missing. This might fill in the mystery of those other people who have pods missing, because they said, U-Haul said, well, we took over another company, and now your pods are missing. Maybe they were stolen as well.
Let me ask you this. If that person came from out of state and those pods were shipped from, say, Kentucky to here, and they were robbed here, does that mean if she didn't buy the insurance, like a moving truck, it's 69 cents a pound?
I don't know. We got to...
Or is it replacement value?
Was she saying she came from out of town?
I don't know. I'm just thinking, how do pods work compared to if something gets damaged or stolen from a moving truck?
Pods are storage, okay? When you sign a storage agreement, it's all in the contract. That's what it is. It's in the contract. But even a contract that limits liability does not excuse negligence, if they were negligent. It doesn't. This is terrible. Do you see, people, do you see why the show exists? Do you understand what we do every day? How crazy this is? A roofer, Vincent Paul Torres, who literally lets people live in a home where he's doing a roof and charges rent and then strips it of copper and wire and fixtures. Is this unbelievable to you?
We got to get his phone number.
I think you called him, didn't you? Did Allie just call him? Did somebody just call him?
No, we just got the phone number that she has for him. She said on a different sign in a neighbor's yard he's got a new number, so I'm not sure what's going on.
Let's find him. And he has the balls to hire an attorney to go after her? This is unbelievable. You know, Mark, you said it once before when we were talking about another area. You can't write stuff like this. You can't. All right. People, if you know anything about Vincent Paul Torres, I-25 Roofing and Restoration, let us know. And I don't know who Westerfield and Martin are. They could just be collection attorneys.
No, they're a real law firm. I'm looking them up here. They are both like, it's two guys, and they're both kind of like debate champion litigators.
Yeah, but who cares?
It's a real law firm, but that doesn't always mean they know.
Oh, they
get one side of the story.
First of all, attorneys are hired.
Yeah.
They're just hired guns.
That's right.
They don't take culpability for anything.
And this guy's got plenty of money for an attorney because he basically takes insurance money and rents out other people's homes and all this other stuff.
This place is located on 17th Street, too.
Yep.
So this guy, this isn't his first rodeo.
Well, that's right. I mean,
I'll go visit the neighbor, too, that's got the sign in front of it today.
Oh.
Yeah, they have a, whatchamacallit?
Here's his number, one of them. You ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
303-246-1117. That's Vincent Torres, I-25 Roofing and Restoration. 303-246-1117.
We highly recommend that you avoid this guy until further notice. We are looking into this. So his attorneys do medical malpractice, legal malpractice, premises liability, plaintiff's side personal injury,
criminal defense,
criminal law.
They're attorneys of jack of all trade.
No, that's okay. So this will be it's good that he has an attorney, because if we get one for her, she's got to fight this thing. And then we got to call law enforcement. I mean, that truly is unbelievable. I mean, how do you justify stripping a home or allowing someone to live there and collecting rent? How do you...
You don't.
I mean, how do you justify that?
I'm a thief. That's how you would justify it.
I would love to hear how the attorneys spin this one. Really, I would love to hear it. 303-713-8255. And where does he get money to hire them?
Well, he took this lady's money and he's charging rent. He has no overhead in this business model.
Do you think this is just... I mean, this can't be true. Listen, folks, we got to investigate this. This is unbelievable.
I'll be out there at 2:30.
Did you look up I-25 roofing and restoration at this point?
All I found out is they incorporated 10 months ago.
He may refer us to his attorneys, which would be good, because that would be good. Well, at least we have someone to talk to. And we ought to. We ought to actually call the law firm and say, we have a complaint about their client. Would they like to talk about it? I mean, I'm looking up I-25. Okay, I don't see anything on them.
They're almost brand new. It looks like they... with the Secretary of State created the company like 9-10 months ago. It's hard to say.
Okay. Wow. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. And we have a lot more to talk about, including mortgages. Brent Ivinson from Ideal Home Loans. Let's talk about down payments for buying a home. Brent.
Well, Tom, there's a lot of options out there, and I think a lot of renters aren't aware of the fact that you don't need to have the down payment. We are a Chapel approved lender. They have income-restricted products, but you can get into a home for as little as $1,000 down. In addition to that, we have access to numerous grant programs where they will grant you the down payment, and you don't have to pay the down payment back. So a lot of different options. If you're someone who's been renting and you're looking at wanting to buy and build your own equity, there are options available for you if down payment's your barrier.
That is really important. If down payments are your barrier, if you have a barrier of a down payment, you don't have a down payment, they have CHAFA that they deal with. They also have other grant programs. If you need more help, if you need help or assistance with a down payment, some you never have to pay back, call Brent Ivinson at Ideal Home Loans. And, of course, you can call him for all your real estate needs when it comes to refinancing or purchase money. Whatever you need a loan on, they can do. Even non-owner occupied loans they can do. Ideal Home Loans for your next Ideal Home Loan. 303-867-7000, 867-7000, or idealhomeloans.com. And speaking of real estate, whether buying or selling, you know who I'm going to say? Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. They have a team dedicated to both, and Frank Duran oversees all of the deals and talks to you personally. When they stage a home, they do a house cleaning as part of their regular service, no extra charge. And remember, they never hold you to a long-term contract because they want to earn your trust in your business every day. 303-920-1622.
This report is brought to you by Mattress Firm.
There's a couple of crashes to watch out for in your drive across town. An accident northbound Santa Fe at Town Center Drive. That's got traffic backed up to Highlands Ranch Parkway. Also look out for crash northbound Sheridan approaching...
Here's what really bothers me, is that this guy ponied up for a fancy law firm. I don't know.
Right.
They're
I mean, they're on 17th Street.
Yeah, I know.
They're not huge,
it's
but...
big rent.
That's
what
right.
I'm saying is, if that's the case, then that's a problem because they can intimidate the hell out of her.
Yes, and if you read their bios, they're both like former debate champions, moot court champions. They're slick.
We got the best way here is
Slick and
criminal,
smart.
and then the criminal, she gets restitution. That would be the best way to handle this.
That's what I was going to say,
need
is go
to
through the
talk to-
restitution program. Get paid back.
I got to look at what paperwork she's got served. I'll get that over to somebody
we need
to look
to
at.
right. And
If
then
they
we-
want to kick it up, that's fine. Let's go ahead and kick it
But
up.
she needs an attorney.
Oh, yeah.
And she needs someone aggressive. And here's the other thing.
And my guess is he might have had them write a letter saying kick it up. That doesn't mean he's got the dough to flip a bill for a damn case. I just got to see the place. It just sounds incredible.
And also, we need to find someone with a sympathetic earmark at the, and Dan, maybe you should call seriously and talk to someone who would handle this. Call the Denver DA and say, look, we have a case that is very unusual.
Now, let's say we probably need to see it first just to make sure.
That's right. And when you do that, call. And when you call, remember, they're always looking to make it a civil case because of their caseload. They don't want to take it on.
Yeah.
It's just an unfortunate reality. Police and the DA, they don't want to take it on.
Unless it's a high.
But when there's an injustice, they have to.
You know my background is investing in finance, so I wanted to bring you a suggestion.
Oh, this is cool.
Summer's heating up.
We'll get a letter from this law.
Yeah.
I'm talking about cutting.
What do you mean? Oh, the station's going to get a letter. We're going to get a letter.
My friends in America.
Oh, really? They always do that?
We absolutely will get a letter because they're going to want to threaten us.
Yeah, I could tell.
It
I
will
read those
absolutely-
bios
it
and
will
I'm like,
absolutely
I know
happen.
these guys.
And you know what? I can express my opinion all day long. And here's the other thing. We are going to investigate it. We're going to follow it up tomorrow.
Yep.
We're going to give case-by-case facts. There is nothing that we can't do or nothing we're doing improperly.
And you said that.
I even said I can't believe it.
Yeah.
I even said I can't believe it. Casting doubt on the story because it is so unbelievable. It is so unbelievable.
Let's talk about John Fuller, Fuller Law. He is a personal injury attorney that I hope you never need, but if you need someone, be happy that it's John Fuller. John Fuller is fully familiar with personal injury law. That means valuing the case, finding the responsible parties, and finding the pockets to go after. Mostly insurance companies, and he knows how to fight them too. In a personal injury case, it takes a lot of time and effort. That's why he works on contingency. And he only collects if you collect. John Fuller will give it his best. All initial consultations with no obligation. 303-597-4500. 303-597-4500. His website is personalinjuryco.com.
Hey, you don't need the 4th of July to witness some fireworks.
I'm angry.
We just like to fuse and let them go off. This is Denver's talk station.
What the crap is this?
630 KHOW.
Welcome to the show. I'm Tom Martino. Let's talk to attorney Cliff Enton on a case involving workers' compensation. David, tell your story. What's happening?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, David. We have an attorney who will be listening here. He's our workers' comp specialist here on the referral list at referrals.com. Go ahead, Cliff. I mean, David,
Hi,
for
Tom.
Cliff. Hey, Cliff, thanks for being here. Go ahead, David.
May 10th, I had a 480-volt switchgear blow up in my face. I mean, literally like a foot away.
You were on the job, David, right? Doing what?
I'm an electrician.
And you had what blow up?
480-volt switchgear.
Okay.
And so I went to the doctor through work, and it was Concentra. And I've been getting the runaround for the last 6 months from them.
Well, hold on now. Hold on. Now, when this happened, did you file a workers' comp case?
Yes, I did.
And you have a number?
Yes, I do. I've got a.
You don't have to give. You don't have to give it to us, but you have a case number.
Okay. Yes, I do.
Okay, and you went to their doctor.
Yes.
And what did they say?
They think I had burns on my retina. I had second-degree burns on my hands, and they cannot explain the headaches.
Okay. And how? And this was. Were you given maximum medical improvement? Were you cleared to go back to work, or did you never take off work?
I was cleared to go back to work with restrictions.
How long were you off work?
3 days.
And then after 3 days, you went back with restrictions?
Yes, I couldn't use my left hand. I had to have dark glasses on.
For how long were you under these restrictions?
Probably 3 months.
And then what happened?
I'm still dealing with workman's comp as far as they're trying to either close a case or pay out a monetary value.
Okay, are they saying you have any disabilities as a result, permanent?
As far as I know, I'm not 100% sure what Concentra is saying.
Okay, do you have an attorney?
No, well, I did talk to one, but they had said Pinnacle's not taking responsibility and your employer's not taking responsibility, so just let it go.
What does that mean? You have a workers' comp case.
Right, and that's
well,
what I tried getting.
Yeah, there's no such thing as taking responsibility. If you have a case and it's workers' comp, there is no taking responsibility. It's automatic.
Right.
I got the email that that your folks sent over, Tom. So
yes.
It looks like they've made a demand appointment. You got to go to that appointment.
And what is that? What is that for, Cliff?
Well, basically, when a person's been treating for a while, maybe they've no-showed for a few appointments, the carrier says, hey, we're setting an appointment on this date. If you don't go, we're going to close your case.
I have not, with the letter I've got from them saying I need to contact Concentra and set up another appointment, but the person that I'm supposed to call will not return my phone call.
Did they set up an appointment or not, Cliff? Did you see
No.
they didn't?
No, not on my
I think they put the onus on him.
Okay.
Now, I deal a ton with Pinnacle. Your easiest thing, call Pinnacle, tell the adjuster, hey, I can't get them to return my phone call.
Right.
You know, I'm available. You got to get it set up, though.
Right.
The bigger problem is...
Why wouldn't he hire an attorney? I'm just curious. Why not hire an attorney?
He should have one because dealing with Pinnacle...
You're going to get your ass kicked.
Anybody in the world.
David, you're going to get your ass kicked.
Right. I have talked to 2 different attorneys, and they both have said the same thing, that it's not worth taking the case right now.
Okay, because they don't think you have damages, or what?
Cliff, I don't know.
Under what circumstance?
I hear that all the time. So many people turn down cases that we end up taking. They end up being great cases.
Well, listen, David, would you be willing to talk to Cliff just for the heck of it to see where you stand? Because this is way complicated.
Right. Yes, I would.
You need help, and I don't want you to mess up. And Cliff can also contact Pinnacle and say, look, my guy's not getting a call back. If you want him at an appointment, then you better get on their butts. I mean, you need help here, bro. You really need help. And, you know, the contingencies are set by law and workers' comp, and really, you don't have runaway legal expenses. And in every case I've seen, Cliff ends up getting more anyway to offset the expense of having an attorney. It's just, David, it's stupid not to.
Right.
And so, I mean, we would love to talk to you, but I know what Cliff is going to tell you, and he's going to say, look, they need to review the case. This is something where you are getting the runaround.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I did call my claims representative at Pinnacle, and I gave her all this information. You know, I've called the special coordinator with Concentra, and 3 times I've left 2 voicemails to call me back. She has not called me back. So Pinnacle is aware that they are not calling me back at this time.
Well, then we'll get a change of physician. Get you out of the Concentra system.
Do you understand that once they don't provide people for you, you are free to pick your own?
No, I did not know that, because the one attorney that I did talk to said something about Section 8, and they have to give you 4 doctors. And Pinnacle is saying I'm over 90 days.
No, they got that. I think you heard that a little wrong.
Okay.
Okay,
but
so
you can always, you have an automatic right within the 90 days. But after that, I found Pinnacle, I can usually get them to agree to make a change, especially where you're getting the runaround, because Pinnacle wants to get to the bottom of it as well as you do.
Right.
And it may be possible just to try to resolve the case and settle it, and you get your own care.
Okay.
Here's what I recommend you do, okay, Dave? David, by the way, have they made any offers to you? You said they're trying to settle. Did they make an offer?
She has not made an offer yet.
All right, hold on. Here's what you do. Suzanne, make sure he gets this number. This is Cliff Enton, attorney at law, 303-333-2222. So it's basically 303, then 3s and 2s. 303-333-2222. Okay. God, that's very frustrating. Very frustrating. So, we have Gigi Wink with us, attorney at law. And Gigi, how many times have you had people who have a workers' comp claim or something that end up in bankruptcy? That too, right?
Yeah.
Because people think, oh, well, you know, they're getting a workers' comp thing done, but in the meantime, what happens?
Yeah, they're not getting the income.
Exactly.
It definitely. I've seen it a lot of times, and luckily, workers' comp is totally exempt in Colorado.
It is.
So
what about? Have you seen people also with personal injury claims?
Oh yeah,
that
all
have
the
to do a bankruptcy.
Yep.
So if they do a bankruptcy because they're forced into it, they really can't work, they can't do anything. Let's say they call and they get a personal injury attorney. What about the personal injury part?
Personal injury is a little more complicated because the way our exemption statute is written, the amount you would receive for your injuries, for pain and suffering, is exempt. But if there's a portion that's going to repay medical providers, the trustee can step in and take that and then distribute it equally to all your creditors. So our advice is always, if you can, wait to get your award. And then economic damages are not fully exempt. So if you're getting lost wages, that's just subject to the regular 75% wage exemption. So it can get more complicated, but you know, sometimes it doesn't make sense to wait. You need the relief
No,
now.
some people need a bankruptcy because of a personal injury, but you're saying if you receive a personal injury award, then you can do a bankruptcy?
You can do a bankruptcy. You have to list your claims. So if you don't list a claim you have when you file a bankruptcy, whether you've started a court case or not, you lose the right to bring it if you don't disclose it when you file. But
even in a full liquidation, Chapter 7?
Yes. Yes. In fact, I'm dealing with a situation now where my client just didn't really get it, and never, you know, we're trying to fix it now. I think it's going to be okay, but they will ask you, usually, do you have any claims you could bring against someone? So you're under that obligation to list everything you have, even if it's not a tangible
That's a claim
asset.
against someone.
That's right. So that claim that you would have that you were going to bring against whoever hit you or hurt you has to be listed, whether it's come to any sort of legal point or not.
All right, and if you don't list it?
You'll lose it.
Meaning the trustee takes it?
Honestly, meaning that the person that you would be trying to sue can say that you are now barred from bringing it because you took an opposing position in a different legal matter.
Okay. All right. That's complicated, but suffice it to say, if you have a personal injury and you're in economic trouble, get good advice first. Kevin, what's going on with you? Hello, Kevin.
Hello.
What's happening, Kevin?
I'm having warranty issues on a new build. We've been there for about 2.5 years now.
2.5 years, but you had a period in which they were supposed to do them, right? Or is this
stuff from the original walkthrough that they still haven't finished?
And you have this proof. I mean, you have it written down from your punch list?
We've gone back and forth with them for
This is a Richmond home. This is a Richmond home? Well, what do they say? Why do they say you still have stuff from your original walkthrough?
Well, the latest is they're saying that it's past the warranty period now.
Yeah, but if you say you brought it up in the beginning, what do they say?
They say no. The latest email is unfortunately Richmond will not be replacing this on your behalf.
Okay, here's the point.
We're not doing it.
Here's the point. If you have proof that you filed while it was under warranty, it doesn't expire as far as I'm concerned, or as far as Richmond is concerned. There's something else going on. Hold on. And hold that thought, and we'll come back and investigate this, okay? Concrete lift and stabilization. There's two things there. Lifting and stabilizing. Concrete. Now, you may think, well, I don't need it, because you don't even know what it is, okay? Let me put it to you this way. Instead of saying call concrete lift and stabilization, let me say this. Call Devin Johns, the owner. When you have any concrete problem, cracking, heaving, sinking, whatever, then you will find out if lifting and stabilizing will help. And in most cases, it will. So you have a free analysis from Devin Johns at Concrete Lift and Stabilization for your sidewalks, slabs, all of your concrete work. He can look at it and tell you what's wrong. And in most cases, you will require some kind of lifting or stabilization. Now, stabilization comes along with lifting, but sometimes they can just go in and stabilize where it's not lifted. You just need support underneath. And this is done through pumping concrete or plastic into voids underneath concrete. Without getting technical, just suffice it to say, it takes care of 90% of your problems when it comes to concrete. If you need information, just call Concrete Lift and Stabilization for more information. He doesn't charge to evaluate your problems. 720-890-2740. 720-890-2740. ConcreteLift.com.
From the L&L Heating and Air Conditioning Traffic Center.
Let's start off with the good news. According to CDOT, they have wrapped up that road work. It's complete. Westbound
As soon as you get downstairs, you got to set up a Skype account. So get that set up, and I'm going to add you. 10 o'clock tonight, we're going to do a three-way.
Drive. There's a crash, a couple of crashes on Hamden, one westbound there approaching Broadway.
That sounds weird. Tonight at 10 o'clock, we're going to do a three-way.
And
I think that's someone just turning in, just heard that.
With a mirror from Pakistan.
The high of 87. Tonight, partly cloudy and a low of 55. Right now, partly sunny and 82. With your traffic and weather, I'm Pete Wagner. 6:30.
I'll look on my calendar as soon as I get down there.
If you have one. You just got to send me what it is so I can put you in my group. And then,
It's Skype better than like Facebook?
Oh, God, you talk.
Get 0% APR for 6 years. Only at Mattress Firm.
Nothing is more important than your health. I'm Donnie, owner of Fitness Gallery, where we sell the world's finest fitness equipment.
I can't wait to see.
FaceTime to 40% off.
FaceTime's for Apple.
How do you really think about it?
I think they have little Chinese kids building their phones. That's
If you
what I
had their stock, I bet you'd feel different.
Well, when I own their stock, they're the best company in the world. Let's not get carried away.
Oh, don't even talk about Apple. He has so much misinformation when it comes to Apple.
There is no
Oh,
stop!
You know, I only have one word to say when it comes to granite art. No, actually, Mitch. No, maybe Art of Granite and Mitch Floria. Okay, I have several words. Listen, I want you to call these guys if you're looking for beautiful countertops and beautiful cabinets or both. And what you're going to do is give them a call with some preliminary measurements. They'll give you a price, yeah, general price, and then it'll get more specific, but they can get a pretty close price. That's right. Now, if you want granite, fine. You want natural stone of any kind, you do it through them. Or even solid surface. They do it all. And you buy the materials at wholesale because that's how they work. They only charge for the fabrication and installation, along with a small markup with cabinets direct from the factory. So you got a great way of doing business. You call, you get a preliminary price. If you like it, they start getting specifics. And then you get a final price and they install. It's that easy. You can buy your granite or stone anywhere on his wholesale account or buy from him. artofgranite.net, 303-386-5919. 303-386-5919.
Trying to decipher what's really going on? Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
Oh, wish I could be like Tom. God bless.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. Kevin, for the life of me, I can't understand why you would have problems from your original walkthrough that they haven't done yet, and then they tell you you're out of warranty. It just doesn't make sense. What's the biggest problem?
Get the trades.
What's that?
They can't get the trades.
What do you mean?
They're too busy.
Okay. Now,
make an appointment. We've had 8 or 9 no-shows. We take time off work and.
Yeah, but you're saying it's worse than that. They're saying now they won't cover it at all. What? Give me the one.
Been going on for.
Give me the items. Give me the items they will not cover. Just go down the list. They won't cover.
Bathtub.
Okay. What else?
And there is some wall repair, painting, floor. And they're supposed to do a general cleanup.
No, I'm saying a general cleanup after 2 years?
From all the work. They came in, they painted the wall and splattered paint all over the floor.
Okay, hold on. I need to know the stuff today that they won't do that was on your original walkthrough.
The second bathroom bathtub.
Okay, that's the only thing from the original walkthrough.
I think there's some other stuff I'd have to... My wife has the list.
And what is it about the bathtub that you noted in your original walkthrough?
It's chipped. They threw a toolbox down inside.
Okay, and you noted this. You have it from your original walkthrough.
Yes.
And they won't replace it now.
And this is it. They've agreed to, yes, we agree with your list. Yes, we'll agree to replace it. They've tried 3 times to replace it. Every time we put water in, it just comes out.
Wait, no, hold on. So they have replaced it?
No, they've tried to patch it.
Oh, when you say patch it, this chip goes all the way through? Oh no, the chip comes out, you say, not the water. The chip.
Whatever, yeah, whatever they fill it with, whatever the putty or plastic is. If you put water in it, it just falls apart.
Okay, I got you. So is it porcelain, plastic, fiberglass? Do you know what it is?
I believe it's plastic.
Okay. So they can't patch it. When they do patch it, does it look good?
It looks fine until you put water in it, and then you've got little white bits of whatever it is, goo floating around in your tub.
And they say what about this? That they're just not going to do what did they find?
The latest is they're going to bring in their senior tub repair specialist to have a look and try it again.
So you haven't been turned down yet.
Yes and no. Technically no, but they're just dragging us along.
If they never show up, at what point does it matter?
Hold on. Is there anything...
My question to them this morning, at what point, how many fixes do we try until it's...
You're right. Usually, Kevin, usually, there is no rule, but it's about 3. Now, Kevin, I want to ask you, is there anything that they flat out refused, saying we're not doing it?
Yes.
What?
They owe us, I think it's $800 in gift certificates that they will not pay.
Well, who says they owe it to you?
They did.
How?
What we noticed on one of the work orders after various no-shows is they charge back their trades for no-shows.
Yeah.
300 and something bucks.
How much?
$300, I think it was.
Okay.
So I brought up the point and said, well, hold on a sec. I just took a day off work, and you're getting paid for my day off work. So I want some of that.
Oh,
so we agreed that every time we had a no-show, I
can't fight. Now, you agreed in writing?
Yes.
You have a contract that says every no-show you get $100. And I don't blame you, by the way, if you took off work. That's a good agreement. Send us the agreement. We'll get you the money.
It's on a spreadsheet.
You have it signed? You have it signed?
Email.
Okay. These guys are idiots. They made an agreement that you get $100 for every no-show.
Correct.
And what excuse do they have for not sticking to the agreement? You can take them this.
Policy.
Well, it doesn't matter. They sign this with you, and if they change their policy, you have a contract. You can go to small claims court and get the $800.
Yes.
Okay.
I probably could.
No, you're this one. I want to get a copy of the contract. Also, now, as far as the warranty work goes, we will call them. I mean, I think that's a fair thing. Dan, we can call and say, look, this guy's been living in the house 2.5 years. He simply wants his warranty stuff. I mean, a lot of people are looking at homes right now. Unfortunately, demand is so high that people are willing to be slapped upside the head to get a home. They're willing to. They're willing to put up with this. Consumers are stupid in general when there's high demand. They compete with each other, causing even more demand. And what happens is those like Richmond Homes and other people are in the driver's seat. And they get to abuse people and get away with it. That's really the truth. You get to abuse people when there is a shortage. And there's a tolerance. And they know people will put up with it. So there are people listening right now, and they just heard that Richmond Homes, in some cases, over 2 years to get to warranty work, and are very hard to deal with, okay, according to you. They've heard this now, right? They'll go out tomorrow, and if they can buy a Richmond home and get it within their timetable, they will disregard what you just said because of the demand. That's the problem.
We have some connections over there. We need his paperwork where they sign this.
Yeah, I want to see where you signed it. Get it to us. We'll mark this as a follow-up. What's your landlord issue, Evan? What's happening with you? Hello, Evan.
Hello. How's it going today, Tom?
What's going on with you?
Well, trying to wrap it up into, as short as I can, but last month my wife and I rented a home. We moved in the first of this month. the time between we signed the agreement and moved in, my wife had an injury, and she was unable to go to work. So we had a discussion with my landlord about possibly spreading the deposit out over this month, which we have done. We have since paid all but $500, which she came to me yesterday and demanded that I have today, which I had planned to go and give to her.
So what's the total deposit?
Sending the sheriff over.
What's the total deposit?
The total deposit was $2,000. We also paid first and last month's rent.
Okay. Now, the only thing you took time on is the $2,000.
Correct.
And during this month, you paid all but $500 of it.
Correct.
And you
I paid her $1,000 with the original first and last month's rent.
Okay. So you were only, hold on, then you were only financing $1,000.
Correct.
And of that $1,000, there was the last $200 due, and you have it.
The last $500, yes. She told
the
me
last $500.
Yeah, last $500. She told me to bring it today.
And when you went to bring it, she said, "Too late."
She is not even allowing me to bring it. She called the sheriff and threatened to evict us.
Well, okay, but in other words, what is she saying? She no longer wants it, or she's going to evict you?
She's just saying, I don't want it, I'm going to evict you.
Okay, and here's why. Because she realized how much you're paying a month.
$2,200.
She realized she can get more money for it. That's probably what happened. Now, here's the only thing that's going to help you. She's going to go for an eviction because you did not pay the full security deposit, okay? You have to come up with the agreement where she allowed you to wait. Do you have the agreement?
I don't. Everything was verbal.
Okay. Here's what's going to happen. You have that money, right? I suggest that you try to give it to her again, right? She can't just send the sheriff's department. There is a long process for eviction, okay? First, she has to give you a 3-day notice. Now, here's the good part. Listen, this plays in your favor. She has to give you a 3-day notice to either leave or honor the commitment. She can't throw you out. She can't say it's too late now. She's going to have to say, because you have a lease, so she can't just throw you out. She's going to have to give you time to cure with that 3 days. So you're simply going to pay within that 3 days. If she still doesn't take it and says, no, I don't want the money, I want you to leave, you keep track of that. You take notes. And when you go to the eviction hearing, I can see no way she's going to get you out of there, because you're going to say we had an agreement. She's going to say we didn't. Then you're going to say, well, then, Your Honor, I'm curing. Here, I'm curing it. And she has to allow you to cure it. The only time she doesn't have to allow you to cure it is if it's incurable, or, you know, beyond, there's damages, or you don't have an agreement. And you do have an agreement. You have a 1-year lease, right? Was it signed? Do you have a copy of it?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then, if she won't take your money, just keep it and be ready to pay it upon demand.
Okay.
I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, the woman's an idiot.
Yeah, well, she's a realtor, and so I was a little concerned that.
Well, I think she's trying to. No, I think she's trying to bully you. But if everything you're telling me is true, they have to eventually allow you to cure it, and you're willing to cure it. So I don't know where she's going with it.
Okay.
We went over this.
Call the sheriff.
Huh? What's that?
So she cannot get the sheriff to show up to my house.
My God, no. Here's what happens first. First, there's the 3-day to cure it. If you don't, then she has to go to court. Then she has to get a hearing. Then she has to, after the hearing, file for a motion. Then after she files for a motion, she has to file for a writ of restitution. Then she has to present that to the sheriff. Then she has to wait for the sheriff to have time to come over there.
Yep.
Do you understand that? There is a long time.
Okay.
She's trying to...
I kind of figured that.
Listen,
but, you know,
here's what I want you to do. We have Brandon Siglian is our tenant landlord attorney. Look at referralist.com and look him up. He can give you information if it goes to the next step, okay? Let's talk about Pure Water. Pure Water Choices, because that's who I represent. You know why? Because this industry sucks when it comes to truth, because they scare people to death. You won't get that with Pure Water Choices. Al, the master plumber, will take care of you. He will show you the difference between filtration and treatment. Sometimes you don't need treatment. All you need is filtration most of the time. He has whole house filtration, point of use filtration, and when it comes to treatment, that's just for plumbing. That's for your comfort. That's not for health. This is where truth separates from fiction, and Al, a master plumber and owner, will give you comfort, truth, and value. 720-219-7818. 720-219-7818. That's purewaterchoices.com.
From the L&L Heating and Air Conditioning Traffic Center.
A few slow spots remain on the Highway Drive in the metro area downtown, seeing the...
Take a comment from... Oh, great. Oh, no, after I do my spots, I just have to run.
Really let up until you get to north of the I-70.
Can I do Aurora Ortho right away?
Delays downtown on I-25 both directions.
Or Rock, yeah, let me do Aurora Ortho.
On westbound I-76 between 8.
You can do it as soon as the traffic's over.
Good.
That's where it's at. So you've got about 30.
And then I'm gonna run the rest of it. Listen, if we come back to the show, I'll do Rockies in context. I'll get it done.
Mixture of clouds and sun.
I wish I could wait, but I've been drinking too much.
Traffic and weather.
And now the whole world knows.
Okay, how?
This report is brought to you by Mattress
Someone turning right there sounds bad.
They're celebrating with daily deals. Get a new and amazing deal
I can just
every
make
day.
clips out of the show.
My favorite is what he said.
Plus,
Oh, what is about, what's her name?
Listen, kid, bend over. It's only gonna hurt for a minute. If you want a straight, beautiful smile and you want to correct a bunch of stuff like TMJ or a sleep apnea, Aurora Orthodontics and TMJ, they call it the new orthodontics. Why? Because it is new as far as the dental industry, but not Dr. Ken Lawson. He's been doing it for years, where he can straighten your teeth by widening your palate naturally, without extractions, without surgery. It automatically straightens your teeth. Then he adds braces to that treatment after a while, and it all takes about 2 years, or maybe even a little less. And here's the deal. No veneers. Those veneers, those implants, those extractions, those surgeries can be thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, like $50,000 or more. You pay a fraction of the cost with Aurora Orthodontics and TMJ because they do it naturally and it's beautiful. And again, when you have a natural, beautiful smile, you have the health that goes along with it. 303-690-0100, 690-0100. Look for Aurora Orthodontics and TMJ on my referral list at referralist.com.
Let me surprise you with an interesting fact.
Kiddo, it'll only hurt
Of
for
all the media options today, and
That's, see, you should put it on.
Tom was quoting Joan Rivers one time, and she was making a joke about Michael Jackson saying, hey, if it was my kid, I'd say, hey, just bend over.
Yeah, it'll
only hurt for a second. So on the podcast, the only thing you hear when the show starts off is that. So there was no context to it.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so funny.
Oh shit, he called me up at about 9 o'clock at night in a panic. How do I delete the Facebook cast? I got people calling me going, what the hell are you talking about? It's only going to hurt for a second, honey. Then it's Disneyland.
That's awesome.
That's what you should
He had me laughing forever.
I love it.
That's what you should put the best of Thor Martino. Get all these little bits.
The newest inductee into the National Radio Hall of Fame.
I'll be honest,
National Radio Hall of Fame. That's so BS.
I love that.
On Denver's talk station.
No one even knows what it is.
Thank you.
Where's it at?
No one knows.
It's Cleveland. It's in Cleveland. Everything's in Cleveland.
All right, Gigi, wait, by the way, Dan and I, we're going to have great updates tomorrow. Dan and myself are going to be heading out to check out a couple cases after the show. Dan's my muscle. He goes wherever I need him to. So beware, everybody. Go for the older guy if you're going to attack us. Gigi Wink with Wink and Wink. I got to ask something. Bankruptcies are definitely down. But we were talking the #1 cause, you said, was divorce.
I see a lot of divorce.
Those are the ones you
it's up in there. Yeah, medical, divorce, and loss of income.
What does someone do if they get divorced and someone's going to get the house and the other person's supposed to pay it off or refi it, get the other person off? We had that call today. What can you possibly do, or there's nothing you can do?
I mean, a lot of people have to file bankruptcy because they cannot you know, you can't force someone to refi, like I said, and the family court only has so much power over that, and it costs a lot of money to go back into family court and duke that out.
How do people determine, and this is probably one of the biggest questions you have, you know, I owe $20,000 in credit card, I owe this, I owe that, I had negative equity in my car, I only make this, I barely break even each month.
Yeah.
Well, how do they determine whether or not they're a candidate to get rid of it? If you can make your monthly payments, can you even do a Chapter 7?
Yes, you can. What it comes down to is how can you do that if you miss one paycheck, if you get sick and you don't have great benefits. You know, that's what are the dominoes stacked up to fall if one thing goes wrong. And you've got to look at what the future looks like, right? Is that going to be the case for the next 10 years?
Yep.
Are you neglecting all of your future, you know, realities and saving for that in order to pay back credit cards over the next 15 years of your life? Doesn't always make sense. It's usually an easier call.
And then you
that.
can save a lot of things too. Is you can save people their home, you can save them their car. Just because you go bankrupt, they don't take your house necessarily.
That's right. And they don't take your retirement. Don't liquidate retirement to pay unsecured debt without talking to me first.
So if people even have questions, listen, all of our referral list members will always talk to you over the phone. There's no charge on that. Just write our number down if you have questions about even debt consolidation. 303-410-1720. Everett's got a comment on Richmond Homes. Everett, what's your comment? Have you bought one?
Hi, Mark. Well, I can't comment on the warranty work, but yes, we're under contract with Richmond to have a home with a 3-car garage built, and we went under contract about 35 days ago, and last week, about 32 days into the contract, we were contacted by him stating that the town of Parker will not allow a 3-car garage on that lot.
Well, then, will they let you out of it?
Well, that's what I wanted to say was Richmond really did a good job. Their salesperson stuck with us and went to bat for us, and they had a bunch of increases in the home price already and the building for the finished basement, and they had no lot open at the time that would allow that home. So 2 or 3 days later, we were contacted by the vice president of sales, and they gave us a lot which was about 1,200 square feet bigger. They've honored the original price on their contract.
Oh, that's
and they
good.
Gave us an extra
So basically you're saying you love them.
I'm saying they did a great job for us.
And they came through.
I'm just wondering why this guy's having so much trouble with his warranty.
Well, I can tell you. My brother is in the industry, and it's not just Richmond, it's every home builder. They cannot get trades to come.
They can't get the subcontractors. Yeah, I appreciate that call there.
By the way, Rocky's Auto, 63rd and Federal, I wanted to tell you that they have special inventory for the warm weather. They have convertibles, they have 4-wheel drives, front-wheel drives, of course, as always, but they have a lot of convertibles and a lot of coupes. Remember, they have a big, giant variety, 63rd and Federal, Monday through Saturday, 9 to 8, 303-426-4646. The big deal they have is not only variety in inventory, but variety in financing, and that's really, really important because there are all different finance plans available for you. That's Rocky's 63rd and Federal. Mark?
Hey, Marva, what's going on with...
Marva, what's going on with you?
Okay. Yes.
Marva. Martha. What's happening, Martha?
No. Martha.
Okay, whatever.
Martha.
Okay, sorry.
So we had it right.
Oh, well, hold on. We got to help her. Hold on. We got to help her.
We'll talk to you off the air. Hold tight. All right, folks, everybody, we're going to be there. Dan and I tomorrow, we're going to have great updates on what we find out at this poor lady that had her contractor having people renting, and he's collecting the money. It's incredible. It's just another day on the Troubleshooter Show. I'm Mark Major. Tom Martino and myself will be back tomorrow right here on the Troubleshooter Show.
So listen, we got to encourage her to go to law enforcement. And Dan,
I told her to call the cops already.
Yeah, but be ready to help her though to explain it because
why it's a crime.
Right. She makes
I wonder if he's intimidating her.
I thought because they're going to say, well, did you? See, here's what she's going to be. She's going to say, I gave him authorization, but she didn't. She told him to get storage.